No, it isn't. All right. I am according to the thing, I'm live like 7 seconds, and I'm seeing like a big delay on my viewer, like way behind normal. So, if you're here, let me know. I want to do a little test. This isn't showing. What's up? I hit start the stream, but I'm not getting anything. Not showing any analytics. Oh, there we go. 3 viewers. All right.
Oh, like on the feed.
Yeah, and it was like the playback window on my end was like 30 seconds behind. So I was like, I'm trying to get somebody to say something in the chat here. All right, Danny. All right. So
Yo.
I'm gonna count
Danny.
3, 2, 1, and I want you to type 0 as soon as you hear me say that. So all right, 3, 2, 1. Let's see how long it takes. 1, 2, 3. It could be like 30 seconds. I don't want to count it out. We'll just see. Danny Williams. I don't recognize that name.
He also could have already left or so.
Yeah, yeah. But we'll see. Also, like I finally. Oh yeah, that was about 15, 20 seconds somewhere in there. At least I know. But yeah, figured to try to start around normal time today. I think we were a little late last couple, so.
Yeah.
I was gonna talk about my Dark Souls 3 obsession if it was just gonna be me. I'll just say that right now, it's on the summit of my gaming summit, and it's currently sitting at a spot along with the likes of 3D World, Tropical Freeze, Metroid Prime,
Really?
Resident Evil 4, 2 remake, 4 original, 2 remake, probably like Last of Us. It's like this game
Well,
is
it's
just
among the greats, is what you're saying.
the only 2 games that I'm not putting it with yet are Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring.
Okay.
It is just blowing my mind.
Do you
I
see it as very much like a precursor to Elden Ring,
there's
essentially?
dude, it's huge. There's so much, and it's like the level design is so good. Like it doesn't all come back to the starting area. Like Dark Souls 1, almost every place you would find an elevator, and it took you back to the very starting area. That isn't in this game, but when you're in an area, and some of them connect directly. Others you just have to. It's kind of weird. I guess in a way they all kind of connect, but it's not like let's say the first area, the Lothric Castle, doesn't connect with like 5 areas later. Like you're not gonna end up back at Lothric Castle.
Yeah.
But if you start in Lothric Castle, you finish that, you put a banner at the edge of a cliff, and these creatures fly you down to a town that looks like a old European town from like the 1800s. You go through that, and then you take an elevator down, and then that goes to a new area, and it's just like it's never it's constantly connected, but there's fast travel between the bonfires, so you don't have to like go all the way back the long way, but I think
Is
pretty sure
that
you can.
newer in that one? Like, is that?
Yeah, in the first game
Yeah.
you got it late, and it was only specific bonfires that they deemed,
Oh, okay.
and you had to have been to that bonfire in order to. But this one you can, just like Bloodborne, which this came after. This is like a year, less than a year after Bloodborne, and this is a massive game. Like it's not Elden Ring open world huge, but it's way
It's
bigger.
very dense. A
It's
lot of stuff.
close. It feels more like Elden Ring than anything before as far as the size. So I don't know that it's size wise it's closer to Elden Ring. It just feels more like this big area. Like it's just so good. I mean, it goes from I feel like I'm literally like in Middle Earth at times. Like I'm underground in this massive bridge underground, and all this like awesome architecture, and like feel like I said Lord of the Rings, and then I go to like a gothic like city in like wintertime with all the like those there's like a church that was like that church you in New York in your video with Retro Death.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
just massive church with the stained glass windows, and it's like, I mean, it's a PS4 game, and at times it looks like a PS4 game, and other times it could pass as PS5 game. It's just like it's just blowing my
Well,
mind.
I
The
wonder, like, they must have.
They
I mean,
have to have
obviously, they do
two
have
massive
several
teams.
teams.
They
Yeah,
have,
because Bloodborne, and then maybe they combined it for Elden Ring or something. But then you also have Night Rain. Well, maybe that was after. It's so weird.
and they did
That's,
the Armored Core. Was it
that's
Armored
right.
Core
Yeah, they did. So yeah, they
six?
did Armor Core. So clearly they got, you'd
It must be
assume, multiple
massive.
teams. Yeah.
I'm just like I just not think Dark Souls 3 would be so massive like after because it came out right after Bloodborne, but it has some
Yeah.
Bloodborne elements. It's very smooth. Now this is the only 60 FPS like before Elden Ring, and Elden Ring can't really hold 60 FPS. This is like because I'm playing on PS5, obviously PS5 Pro, it's locked, but
Yeah.
it all the other games targeted 30 until the remake of remaster, I should say, of Dark Souls 1 that targets 60 and obviously can hit it, but it's the smoothest movement, animations, your movement is so smooth until Elden Ring, obviously.
Hmm.
Um, like it just they didn't add things to they added things that made the game, I guess, more a little more user friendly. Not like we talked about. I think there's still plenty of stuff that like, if you don't look it up, you're gonna miss. But I keep trying to explain. I didn't understand this when I played Bloodborne. I was mad when I played Bloodborne because I did attack an NPC and I was like, oh, that's a great side quest. You missed out, and I was like, that's stupid. But
Hmm.
they don't. There's so much in the game. You can't, literally cannot experience all the side quests in one playthrough.
For
They're
sure.
designed so that you can't do that. You have to choose. And then next time if I played it again, and I'm not one that's going to replay all these games,
Yeah,
probably.
because that's pretty huge. Those are huge ass games, man.
Yeah, Dark Souls 1, I could see I already went through. I'm already quite a bit through on a second playthrough, but I could there's in the first game there's they're the bonfire. What do they call them? The maidens. They're around the fire. What I can't remember the exact name, but um, there's one that this dude played, and it like planted some egg thing on his head, and his whole head for the rest of the game was just like this throbbing, like this parasite. And that didn't happen to me at all. And I don't know what it means and what benefit there is to it, and what it means for the different endings and stuff. And
Hmm.
it's like you can attack at any point. You could attack any NPC at any point. There's one a bunch of the NPCs that become merchants in Dark Souls 3. You have kind of your hub area, and they all kind of go back there after you talk to them out in the world. And then a couple of them just either vanish. One of them's dead, and their body's just laying there. And I'm like, oh, I bet it was another NPC. There's probably a way to prevent that death. And it's just like, it's just crazy that they design their games with with this idea that you really have to play it multiple times to like really see everything. And it's like, but if you don't, you could just play through once, get an epic quest, or just feel like you went on an epic
Yeah.
adventure, and you feel like you accomplished something. You get the credits and move on. It works that way too. So I just had to really change like the way I was viewing these games to like appreciate it more. And over time, obviously, I have. So I just can't like if it continues on the way it's going. I mean, it's gonna be up there with Breath of the Wild, Elden Ring
Well,
for
what
me.
about because you didn't bring up Bloodborne? How you feel versus Bloodborne?
I really like Bloodborne, but it gets to story wise, or the world kind of gets to it. There's a weird thing that happens that to me it completely changed the tone of the game. If people have played it, they'll probably know what I'm talking about. And it's like something gets revealed, and it's just like it didn't really work for me personally. Just kind of like completely shifted the tone to like a more of a supernatural kind of
So you would say this
element.
is better than Bloodborne
So
as of
far,
now?
this is my
As of
favorite
now?
outside of Elden Ring. It's blowing my
Mm.
mind how good it is. Now, I play differently than some other people I watch. Like I said, I watch some blind playthroughs. I just take my time. I kill every enemy. If I die, then I go back try to get my souls. I just always try to kill every enemy, and I turn them in and level up. Now I was at like level 60 at this boss fight, and the person I was watching was at like 30, and they beat the boss, but I needed to be at
Really?
I was at 60. I'm kind of making it easier for myself in some ways, but there's still a challenge.
Well, no, I mean it's as with it's it's an RPG. You
But
battle and you
it's
level
not
up.
like I've played like Xenoblade Chronicles 1, like you really have to grind. They're the like one of the first challenging bosses about 10 hours in. He was at like 22 or something. I was at like 16, 17. I couldn't even come close to.
Mm.
So I had to
Well,
just.
I personally feel the best RPGs you don't have to grind. Not to say Xenoblade that's gonna
I
cause
think.
some controversy, but like some of the best RPGs are leaning towards different thing where it's like you don't have to
Yeah, and I
grind.
think that's what Expedition 33 did really well. If you just want to learn the patterns of the boss and learn the timing of the parry, you can beat a lot of bosses that technically are you're not, you're under leveled for.
Yeah.
And but in Xenoblade, I just feel like maybe I wasn't engaged in for the first game. I wasn't engaged in the battle system as much. So I
Yeah.
was maybe I was avoiding fights that normally I wouldn't. Because normally I just in the other Xenoblade games I really didn't have to ever stop to like level up. So and then like
Yeah, I mean, I did. I think I mean, yeah, I never finished X, but I know I grinded an X for a bit at one point. And
I
again, I don't mind grinding like 100%, but obviously it depends on how much you love the
I only
combat
count
system.
it grinding if it's like you have to go do it in order to like get further
Progress.
or beat a boss. If I'm just
Yeah.
exploring and enjoying the world, I don't really
No,
consider that grinding.
that's not grinding. That's
No.
just you exploring. No, no,
And
no.
I
If you're doing like a routine where you're going around to just kill the same enemies, that's grinding.
yeah. No, I will say I found a spot in X where the enemies were pretty high level, but they weren't that difficult with a couple skills. And I did use that to level up some of my side characters. I was trying to get some of my side
Yeah, I mean, again,
characters.
that's RPG. Like, I mean,
But
I haven't
I
released a
didn't feel
video,
like
but
I was like I had to. I just kind of found a
yeah,
spot that was a nice spot to what do they call farm? Farm
yeah,
resource
farm and
farm
grind.
XP.
Well, that's I mean, that's again, I didn't release a video yet, but for Mother 3, there's a there's I grinded multiple times and I didn't really have to, but I thought the combat was satisfying and I just wanted to level up, cushion myself a bit, and sometimes you just like the combat system, you just do it just because you like to do it anyway. Like it's part of the game. It's an RPG. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, if you don't, if you're not really feeling the combat in a game, you're definitely not gonna want to grind. But
No.
I don't really consider it grinding if I'm just like I wasn't avoiding combat in Xenoblade Chronicles X, but in one, I never really got the hang of the what do you call it Shulk's ability to see like the future, and it just until late in the game I really wasn't quite grasping that, and it didn't really prove to be too useful for me early on. So I was just kind of I don't know. But overall, I haven't even touched Saros. I still haven't played it yet. It's been over a week since I picked it up. Seems
Oh,
like
that's true. That's crazy. That yeah, you haven't played it
and I
yet.
want to, but I just like I gotta finish this, and I'm close. I know I feel like I'm close. I don't. I guess I don't know. I did watch after I got to a certain point. I watched a video of a guy, and he's like almost end of the video, and he's still right where I'm at. So, and he's only got a few minutes left. So I was like, all right, well that kind of slightly spoiled that I'm close to the end, but I already felt like I had to. There wasn't much left to do. So, but other than that, how do you liking Tamagotchi life?
Oh man, it's so good, man. It's just it's such a goddamn fun game. And every time I play the game, I try to make one me. So you can add up to 70, and I'm like, all right. So every time I a new day starts, I'll try to add a new me. Just I make some really random looking, crazy looking me's. I try to balance it out. I'm like, let me make some normal looking me's, like super like I made this one dude just named Jake, and I try to make him almost look like. But once I get him like, some catchphrases, I'm like imagining him to be like a complete fuck boy, and he's like, "I'm just trying to crush puss," like some shit, like some.
The
He's got
fuck?
like bleached blonde hair on the like
The
frosted tips.
tops, yeah.
Yeah, and he's got glasses that go like this, like he's like looking like that, and and then I try to make like a normal just make some like normal women. I'm like trying to balance it out like that. Then I'm like, okay, but I gotta also make my crazy. I made one one person that is because awesomely retro and clocked its Mii's from when I met them in France when we did or London when we did Street Pass. I was able to send it to the Switch.
Nice.
And the way you do it is you take your amiibo and you copy its owner. Then I just will go back and forth to add a me.
Hmm.
And then and so there's this one crazy looking like old woman that is like insane is blue and she looks all fucked up and shit. And I called her anal gland.
Jesus, dude.
And she went and looked and saw retro and has a crush on retro right now. it's, just, it's just so funny, man, and just like there's just so much just funny stuff that happens in the game, and yeah, I mean, I've seen some people do some crazy. I made a hobo, this homeless guy, and I called him hobo, and then you could make the outside of the house, and I made his just a box, so it looks like there's a homeless dude just in the corner somewhere. And it's just funny, man. It's just so damn good. I'm loving the game.
I've seen a few funny things, but honestly, like I could never see myself like picking the game up myself. But it does look. There is some funny stuff I've seen like back in the day. I swear it was you that said Beyonce was in love with me, but it must have been somebody else's.
No, yeah, it
Tamagotchi
must have been
life.
someone else from one of the
Yeah,
podcasts.
it was funny though.
Like it was like 2014. I wasn't on the podcast yet. That was
I can't
a
believe
year
it.
before.
I don't think it was the year it came out, but probably wasn't too far off. But yeah, I remember maybe it was Steel Fox, Derek Steel Fox, maybe, because I could see him playing that, and he's like, "Yeah, you and
Actually,
Beyonce are
I saw
together."
him. He was playing it.
Yeah,
He was playing. I saw him. I saw
it
him
was
on the
probably
Switch
him.
playing.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, maybe that's what. Yeah, maybe so. That's probably what it was.
What's
So
up, T?
good, yeah.
Hi guys.
Yo.
So I played a little Star Fox 64 yesterday on the Switch 2.
Yeah, I saw you comment in the chat there, or not chat. Our...
It's hard to like. I've gone back to things and have two different reactions. Sometimes I like rewatch the MCU movies and I found some of the movies I didn't like. Now I think they're really good. Like I remember I played Star Fox 64 a lot. The Rumble Pack. Two things about it I never loved, and that was I never cared for the all range mode. I just always felt like that was like a negative detriment to the game. I like the on rail stuff. I've always preferred the on rail stuff, even in Zero. I didn't like the all range, and also like the Landmaster to me just felt really cumbersome. It just didn't, even though that was on rails. I never loved the Landmaster sections. But all I played,
one of my favorite levels in the game.
I just didn't care, and I really didn't like it in Zero. I don't know. I just like flying.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that.
But,
I don't care for it in Zero.
What was that, 97? So it was 29 years ago.
Yeah.
And thinking about it, it's like I haven't really dived into it too much. I played a little bit last time I had this N64 app on, but going back to it, I played the first level. I kept struggling because I don't know what I was hitting. I kept doing freaking somersaults and trying to get up to get Falco so I could do the alternate path, so I kept having to restart. But I finally was getting, used to the controls. I had a nice run going. I shot the ships that were trailing them. We went through the waterfall. I did not remember all the freaking dialogue.
What'd you play it on?
On Switch 2, just through the Switch Online. That's why I got the
little... I didn't even know if it was on there or not.
It's super. On the Switch 2 screen, it looks phenomenal. Like, that and Luigi's Mansion looks like a freaking game that was made 5 years ago. Like,
did you play it with this?
No. It works perfectly fine with the Switch Pro controller.
Sure it does.
I was playing at the Joy-Cons because I was playing in handheld, but I'm just like, there's so much dialogue. Like him and Falco like teamed up because you go on the second path through the waterfall, and it's like I don't remember this much dialogue. I guess I just got used to it when I was playing it, but there's a lot of voice acting. It's way more cinematic than I remember. I always thought the first game had the cinematic stuff down, and it looks, like I said, it looks really good on the Switch 2 screen. It probably looks even better on the OLED. And I'm just like, man, I'm excited for the remake now. And but I will say, like, Peppy, the shape of Peppy is almost identical in the remake. Falco, I don't see why people are like, oh, why does he look so weird? It's like, it kind of, they were going off Nintendo the 64, kind of the shape of everybody, because I think Slippy and all of them, the shape's almost identical.
Well, if you look, but Falco and even Fox's legs
I wasn't
very
talking about
animal.
I wasn't talking about the body
Yeah.
part. Yeah, I was just
Okay.
talking about like the upper, because I'm like,
I
yeah,
think that's what most people have an issue with. I mean, yeah, he looks kind of, more bird-like than he did in the game because he's
but Peppy's
more
almost the
realistic looking.
exact like
Yeah,
shape
Pepe. I
and
don't think
everything.
I don't think I heard
Pepe,
anybody
like,
say anything about
didn't
Pepe.
change at all.
But I think they were
Yeah.
just going off the kind of what was in the original game, and then they
Yeah.
just make it look super
Yeah.
realistic. But so I already pre-ordered because Walmart has it for the $50.
Like a
They're
price match.
matching the digital price, and so I pre-ordered the physical
That's sweet,
version.
man. That's pretty damn good. I hope they continue to do
And
that.
I'm like, you know
Me
what?
too. I'll continue to be going there and buying that game from there.
I'm kind of excited now. And at first I was like, maybe I'll just keep it sealed. No, so I was like, no, I'm playing this game. But yeah, let's just talk about, because it is weird that they're just staying with the same,
sure.
Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Kit and Chris or somebody else. Maybe they were like, oh, he's gonna be in the movie, but they had to have known he was in the movie years ago. Like, they didn't just do it
Yeah.
a month ago, like, or a month before launch.
Because
Like,
he's a fairly big part of the movie.
and
even
they
though
have to
he's kind of
animate
retired.
all the CG, all that
Yeah.
work
Dude,
that had
like
to be done.
this game's been in development for years.
Yeah, and I bet you the
plural, like-
voice acting was done years ago for the movie, so they knew, because they were
How
like,
many
oh,
years do you think?
they were like, well, they probably just, oh, he's in the movie, we better
I
get a
mean-
game out, and this was the
I don't think it's
quickest
more
way.
than 3.
But still, 3 years would be before or right after the movie,
Yeah.
the first one came out. You know what I mean? The first
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
came out. You know what I mean? But even like, I don't know, like I just think I think this looks like they put a big budget.
They put a
behind it.
lot
It
into
looks
the
like
cutscenes,
they
especially.
feel like
Yeah.
those cutscenes look insane.
This ain't
And
no
I guess
rush
you
job.
could say maybe they could get it done 3 years because it's technically a remake of
Yeah, they don't have
of
to
a game.
design the levels, I guess.
But like, man, I was, obviously as someone who hasn't played 64, but I have played Assault and Zero, which those are the two that I've
Which
played.
is weird.
Yeah. But those two games, like, for me is like, obviously it's like, as always, I always say, like, I prefer if someone makes a new game, no matter what. But it's like, this is one where, for me personally, I see this, I'm like, this feels, I know it's the same layout and stuff, but it feels more similar to like a Resident Evil sort of remake, where more in terms of like story wise than gameplay wise,
Yeah.
just because of how, like, I mean, they're going all out in terms of, yo, this is
like
like
that, the
crazy
whole
expansive story
prologue.
and everything.
That's
Yeah,
just text
I'm
in
like,
the
It
game.
looks nut, and it looks like, dude,
That
it
was
looks
just
like a
comments.
movie. It looks like a
Yeah.
genuine movie, and like
Mhm.
insane shots. And I'm like, for me, I've always wanted a Star Fox game that is super cinematic.
Yeah.
And this is what they're
Well,
doing.
the first
man. They're
game
making stuff
felt like
super
a movie
cinematic.
to me.
Yeah, the first one is
The
the
sound
funny
design,
thing is that
the music.
And the music
phenomenal.
sounds insane with the whole.
It's orchestrated now, which
Boom.
that's the thing that's really awesome to me about this game is that it feels like what I remember. It looks like what I remember when I think about Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
Obviously, I play Star Fox 64 probably a couple, 3 times a year, and just kind of go through and try to get all the medals again and whatnot. But so that's one of the down things for me is that it's so familiar to me that I still play it. Like it's great for somebody who hadn't played it in 30 years, or it's going to be phenomenal to them. But story wise, yeah. But the thing is, yeah. So like in between the levels, they're going to be fleshing that out more. As far as like, because you get the little General Pepper thing, you'd be like, or you're going there, talking
I
about
won't
going
let
to
you
the sun
down.
planet or whatever. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
one sentence responses, 3 words.
One of my favorites, and it's kind of sus if you think about it. He says, Star Fox says, or Andros says, Star Fox, we need your help. And he's like, I'll do my best. Andros don't have his way with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That's
"Have
so
his way
bad,
with you?
yeah.
What are you, pause? What are you talking about? That always made me laugh. Good luck. But yeah, it's what I remember in my mind when I think about the game itself. And I love the fact that they are going back to like the original vision with the puppets and the kind of the grittier stuff, because that's what the original game was really about. And 64, you know, it. I don't think, to me, Star Fox has never been like a cutesy kind of characters game. Like it's always been grittier. You know, you got animals. Yeah, you got, you know, what is it, anthropomorphic animals and ships. But they're blowing up. You know, dads are getting killed. You know, there's a revenge plot. I mean, there's all kinds of like darker themes, and it's always been that way. And the best things about it was, for me, and it's both Star Fox games, Star Fox first one and Star Fox 64, was they were like really big technical showcase pieces for their respective systems. Like obviously the Super FX chip for Star Fox, the original, was like mind blowing, and we didn't think that could happen on on the Super Nintendo with the, you know, a 2D side scrolling basically console. You get these polygons and whatnot, and you know,
I still remember ducking as I was trying to get. Stuff was falling, ships flying.
Yeah,
I'm like ducking in real life.
Yeah, it gave you a visceral reaction, and obviously Star Fox 64 was like mind blowing visually.
I still can't.
And it became way more cinematic, but it also introduced force feedback on gaming consoles. Like people sometimes forget about that, but that was the first game that did that. I think they had a little bit of rudimentary stuff on PC, but as far as like straight up like rumble, you know, force feedback in a controller,
and it felt great too.
And it felt amazing. That's what I was going to say. It wasn't just, oh, it's shaking. Like I talk about the Landmaster mission being one of my favorites, because man, was that rumble pack really featured in that level, especially if you get the alternate path and you fight or you don't even fight the boss. Spoiler alert, if you do the alternate thing, and he crashes, and the explosion, it happens in waves, and you can feel it like in the rumble pack, like it felt like an explosion in waves, and that really, the first time I went through that, it blew my freaking mind. So while I am a little disappointed, obviously, that it's not a new game. I get it. I mean, you're not going to get better as far as story-wise and setting up the character than you will with Star Fox 64. You're just not. And so they focus on like the tech and the, you know, the visuals.
I mean, it's like
the audio.
One of the most technically impressive games Nintendo's ever done. I mean,
raw
visual fidelity.
I don't think it's getting enough credit for that, by the way. Like nobody's really like this game. This is probably the best looking game Nintendo has ever done.
Somebody was like showed us, you know, a little bit of the prologue cut. Like this is a PS. If you told me this was a PS5, I think they might have said PS6, but that was getting a little carried away. But if you told me this was just a new upcoming PS5 game, I wouldn't have questioned it. Like
I mean, like that. Those like, I mean, again, those.
Somebody should do a reaction montage of people seeing that the first time, like the first time Fox pops up.
Yeah.
Everyone I've seen watch that. I was like, whoa. They go, whoa. Like you can.
He looks a little weird at first. I've gotten used to it. He almost has like
it's different angles.
It's not. People were like, oh man, what happened to his neck? No, it's just a color. Because it's white and his mouth is also white. It kind of blends together and looks like he has a fat neck, but he doesn't. The other games, if you look at the coloring around his neck, it still has that, but it's darker. It's not straight up white like the like Star Fox the new one is. His the hair coloring is more muted than it is in this game where it's all white. So I think it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, you should. I know, Robert, you probably don't want to see the 64. I'm just curious if you two just boot up the 64 on the Switch too. Just even if it's just the first few minutes.
Star Fox 64 in general.
Like when they're like
I was playing it,
coming through the clouds and like the windshield, the cockpit shields were clear, and you see their heads moving in there. I was like, I mean, it looked good back then. It looks so good on the Switch Online. To be honest, I couldn't.
Literally, all you had was a head. If you could look, if you actually look,
yeah,
it's just their head, and then like there's a a kind of a texture.
But it's like
well, and also I mean, in the new one, I mean, I don't know who brought up, but like the clouds look like flight simulators.
Yeah, they look really good. Those clouds.
The one thing that doesn't look good is the training. That looked. I mean, in comparison to everything else,
I think it's always supposed to be very.
it looks very unimpressive. Like,
It looks like the original training
Yeah.
thing. The best you can really do with that. The
So
hologram.
I'm gonna call out a YouTuber I really like, Josie Woe. She's
Josie?
younger. She was
I saw her reaction.
her reaction was bad. She did not like anything about it. And then the next
didn't
day
watch
she
hers.
plays the original Star Fox. She'd never played it before, and she's absolutely atrocious at the game. I almost was going to leave a
Ugh.
comment. I don't know what was worse, your take on the remake or your gameplay. So obviously she's not a Star Trek, or I keep saying Star Trek earlier today too, Star Fox fan, but I was just like, you know what, like I'm just going to turn it off because I mean, obviously she's not a fan of the franchise, and then people were shitting on the visuals of the original. I'm like, this is 94,
What?
3, 4,
That's the kind
5.
of stuff I can't stand. I can't stand that kind
on.
of shit.
I think it still looks
It's 93.
impressive
93.
as hell. Like,
Yeah.
shut the hell up. Like, they're making fun of the visuals, and then she just absolutely sucked at the game, which she never played it before. So I mean, of course you're gonna suck.
Well, yeah, I mean, you never played it before. I'm not gonna knock.
I was
you too
pretty
much
bad
on
when
not being
I
good at
first
though.
played it, but I was like, no wonder.
Yeah, going back to that game, for somebody who probably their entire lives they play with an analog stick, having to play a game where it's pseudo 3D and you're having to use
Well,
a
she
D-pad.
was
I
playing
could
with.
see.
I'm guessing she was playing on Switch too, so she was using some sort
Well,
of
it won't matter.
analog.
It's still the same control.
Yeah,
It's
it does
not like
feel
it's
to me. It
analog all of
feels
a
a little
sudden.
better with an analog over the D-pad, but
Oh.
That's a game where I know I probably because I mean other than you had Assault, but Zero you didn't control it like a normal Star Fox game. That's that's
and it was
so,
like what 15 frames a second maybe. The
Which
frame rate
one?
was
Assault.
the first one.
Oh yeah,
No.
that's the thing about the submarine level in 64. That was a
I said that.
slugfest.
Yeah, somebody said that about
That
submarine
made that
being
level
great.
really
I'm like,
hard to
"Ah."
play. I hated replaying that level, but
That was my least favorite. I mean, I like the idea, I like the ambition, but
I
clearly
I
they
think I'll
weren't ready for that water.
I think I have a
and all that
chance of
stuff
liking
going
a
on.
lot more in the remake. But
Right,
And also-
clearly it's gonna run. It's gonna run great now.
this isn't
so.
an hour-long game. Like, yeah, you can play through. It's just kind of
Oh,
like
it's
I was
about an
talking. It's like I mean, yeah, if you want to one run, I mean, it's like I was saying about the Souls games. Those are longer games, but they're not. You're not supposed to see everything on your first playthrough. In Star Fox, the branching paths, the
can't.
metal
You literally
system.
can't.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, so yeah, technically, if somebody, like, I would yell at somebody though if they're like, yeah, I picked up the remake and I played through, got to the credits, an hour later, I'm done with the game. Oh wow, that sucked. And then shut the fuck up. That's
You
not.
know that's gonna happen. I was gonna say,
That's-
how many videos are you gonna see of people? Man, that's it. I paid $50 for an hour worth of game.
well, you know what though, but I think people also it sucks because it's like you also have a big emphasis on multiplayer though that
Mhm.
looks like some cool online
Yeah.
multiplayer stuff like
Which the
genuine-
original game had as well, by the way. It wasn't a
It was
big
all
emphasis.
range
but
mode, so
Oh,
of course
well,
I
did
didn't
they
care
have
for
the?
it.
Because it looks like there was like 3 modes. Three
how else can
different-
you play that, really?
I know, but I
You
just
can't play
never.
multiplayer
And plus, I only
on
ever
real.
played it with 2 other people, so it was just 3 of us. It was never.
'Cause I know they got the 3 different modes, and there's like 3 maps. They're all 3 different. They're 3 different
Mhm.
modes, which is pretty damn cool. And I think that alone, I mean, technically that's new. So I mean, that's
And
pretty cool.
I'm assuming like there's gonna be different cutscenes for the different paths you take. It's not just gonna
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, you'd assume. some of
And
that, too.
spoiler alert: will they bring back? People credit Star Fox Assault with on foot. That actually started in Star Fox 64. You had to get all the
multiplayer, right?
medals.
Or
Yeah,
no?
multiplayer. It's only in multiplayer. You got to get all the medals, and you can run around and do multiplayer on foot with bazookas and all that stuff, like they did on Assault.
I never got.
People
I
forget
never
that.
did that.
That's because y'all some flaws out there, and you get all the medals and shit. That's what that shit is.
You would. I mean, you would. I'd be curious if they do that. You would think. I mean, it seems like it's a very faithful remake.
Well, it's a remake, so I obviously they're adding new stuff to it. I mean, you gotta put the original stuff in, I would think, and I wonder how that's going to control, because that was an issue even for Star Fox 64, the on foot,
Yeah, I bet.
how it controlled and whatnot, because they didn't even get that right when it came to Assault. So
I didn't mind Assault's. I mean, it's been years since I played, but I didn't mind Assault's movement and controls. To be honest with you,
ooh,
no,
it's rough. It's rough.
I mean, I play at this point. It's probably been like 7-8 years though.
T, did you pick up the 3D Star Fox?
Of course, I'm a Star Fox fanatic.
How did
I got
that?
all
I
of
mean,
them.
how did the 3D work in that game? Was
It looks it is one of the best uses of 3D in the game. Which for a
Damn
while
it.
maybe hard for me to go back to Star Fox 64 and N64.
I should
Uh,
try to maybe
it,
try to
it
pick up
looks great.
a copy.
It looks great, and obviously the visual bump is also cool, where it doesn't completely go away from the original kind of feel of the game with the texture work, but it looks really good.
Let me look up.
Yeah, well, that's why it's funny. I saw that photo where it's like and I think I sent in the chat where it's like, you have Star Fox 64. It's like they've made all 3 different versions of how you remake a game. So they remastered it with 64 3D. They reimagined it with Zero, and now they're fully remaking it with Star Fox.
Well, honestly,
Oh, they
the
did improve
reimagining
the
started
visuals.
within 64.
I didn't realize the 3DS
Well,
version
yeah,
was.
technically that's just what.
Yeah, yeah. Star Fox, yeah, it looks a lot better.
That's way cleaner. I did not.
Yeah.
I'm sure it probably showed it back in the day, but yeah, this is. I guess I didn't realize.
Yeah. Although I do like the tunnel here. I mean, that's just nitpicky, but
I still like the
I like the
N64
tunnel on the
look
N64
too. The
version.
lighting actually better.
The lighting, yeah.
Are more pronounced, I should say.
I do like the lighting and the 64 version with the.
And obviously, this is
Fox.
This is with. Oh, it's in emulator in HD, so this is.
Yeah, it's got 2 times what do you call it? It doesn't look this good on.
Yeah, the 3DS
3DS, but it
screen
looks
though
good.
in 3D would make up for.
Yeah, it's a blurrier than on.
But
on the 3DS.
I mean, unless there's some mods going on, you can tell the character models have more polygons and stuff.
Yeah, no, there's no mods. That's a straight up. That's Citra. It's just up in the resolution.
And this map screen obviously more detailed.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like. That I saw in the
like
remake.
The map screen?
I don't like the map screen because this is like 3D. You can literally like fly around all the planets and look at them from angles and stuff. It didn't look like you can do that on the new ones. It looked like a flat kind of.
Well, it looked
map.
like they were like projecting it off of something. It was like.
Yeah, it looked like it was a holographic or whatever.
Yeah, it was holographic, like projection sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's still amazing.
Obviously, you actually get clouds like near you in this version.
I mean, obviously, this is probably through the Switch Online. Oh, maybe not back then.
It said Switch Online. Yeah, it said Switch Online earlier.
Okay.
The nostalgia, man. The nostalgia. Just looking at
the lighting on the 3DS looks pretty good there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just like his head just kind of.
It's literally his head.
Yeah, like,
popping around. But that's okay.
No, it's.
They changed the dialogue too because he doesn't say "I'm fine" here in the remake. It says something.
Yeah.
Something else.
But yeah, I mean,
yeah, they did some changes. That's good. I want them to do that because I don't want to sit there and be reciting everything as I'm playing.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's why I like it. I mean, when they're like just production wise, they're going all out on this game. I was like, damn, bro. I really was not.
They already did, but look at how good the original and the 3DS version look. For
they're purposely keeping out barrel
their
roll.
respective. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Look at the water for.
Like
3DS,
I want to pick up the 3D version.
Yeah, the 3DS version is. I mean, it's super cheap.
I will say I was noticing like my ship was blocking a lot of the view, which I don't feel like happened on the original as much.
Because there was no view.
Yeah. Oops. Oh, he got it. Anyway.
Somersault.
I would say the one part of the remake that kind of is lacking, I feel, is just the bomb explosion. I mean, they probably just want to keep it so you're not blinded by everything, but it does look.
I don't like how the bomb looks even.
And it's just like the bomb icon. I want to see like a missile take off with like a plume of smoke behind it. Like that's the kind of stuff I'd like to see.
The circle and everything, like kind of the same. I noticed like those, like the rings and the. They kept those like the same. They didn't really make it a transition to like a newer, more realistic art style.
Oh yeah.
Man, I love this. This is my game, man. This is my game, forever.
But it's, I mean, again, and also I think it's just, as per usual, and yeah, I really think they're gonna make it another game based on just the fact that it's.
Yeah, I mean that's like.
It's weird that they just called it Star Fox.
Nintendo because you just never know. The fact that they call it Star Fox makes it feel like, okay, this is the beginning, guys, of something.
See how far those ships are out there?
I don't like that they just named it Star Fox. Now we have a new game in the world that we have to say Star Fox 2026.
Yeah. That's the one thing I don't like, having to say the year.
Yeah. But, or you say Star Fox
Remake. At least they didn't call it Star Fox.
They could have
64
just gave
remake.
it like a subtitle, like Star Fox
Star Fox 64 Lilac Wars, or
Hey,
what's
was
the
or Star Fox
was it Lilac Wars
Lilac Wars or
for
something.
yeah for
It
Europe?
was it your video where you said that maybe they might be changing some story at the end because like with the prologue maybe he's not actually dead, the father. You know what I'm saying?
That's possible.
Because
We
I was
don't
seeing,
know.
I was because also
Oh,
if
you
you
missed
if
the
you
rings,
read
bro.
his bio says presumably dead.
Presumed
It's-
dead. Yeah,
do
that would
you
be a big change.
How come he didn't go? I thought he stayed Falco there. Why didn't he go to?
No, he didn't go through the ring. He didn't
Oh,
go through
you got to
the.
do that too. I did it
Yeah,
last
you got to
night.
go through all the
arches.
all the arches. Yeah.
That's why I'm like kind of convinced that obviously this is like a remake, but it's also a reboot essentially, and I
Yeah.
think
Yeah, it's a
they
remake
might
and a reboot
they
at the
might
same time.
change up the story where his father's alive, and then you could maybe he'll join in the next game and you can play as him or something. I don't know.
It's possible. It's very
I wouldn't
possible.
be to me just the fact that I say presumably dead to me tells me
Yeah,
he's alive.
because we all, as veterans of Star Fox 64, we all know him to be dead. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil anything because this game is very close, obviously, to Star Fox 64. But he did, he did for all intents and purposes, and they could totally change that.
I mean, look
in
at
this
how
version.
realistic that terrain looks in the
yeah.
the
Yeah.
explosions. Like the regular explosions look great. The bomb is the one I know in the chat I wasn't clear, but
Yeah, I
the
wasn't
bombs
sure what
this
you're talking
point,
about. I
the
was like, I
regular
think explosions
explosions
for,
and
when you're
fire
blowing
looks
up stuff
great.
looks pretty cool. Like that
Yeah.
stuff.
I
looks
still
pretty
think the original
solid.
Star Fox looks good, but that's
It does.
nostalgia.
It does too. I think
I think
yeah,
it looks
I'm not
fantastic.
against it.
It's, and I hate that's what I hate about recency bias. Like as some person
This
in
is
their
crazy. Oh, yeah.
teens, 20s, 30s even goes back, graphics look terrible. It's like, bro, you know how crazy top of the line, mind blowing this was
Some
for
some
people
games
who
you
grew
go
up.
back, you're like, whoa, I never thought it was gonna look better, but
Look at the clouds, man.
look at that.
Again, when I first I was like, oh man, it's gonna be weird, but I totally grew
But
into
look at
the
the
design
Star
pretty
Fox
quick.
64 with the what's it called, the
Looks dope,
the
man.
reflections and stuff on the cockpit window there.
Mhm.
Like that was crazy to me anyway. I had never seen anything like that in a video game before.
Yeah, I mean it's
I remember I got the VHS promo for this game because I was subscribed to Nintendo Power, and they would send out
Oh, yeah.
VHS promos because there was no Nintendo Directs back then. So
look
you
at
get
Peppy
a
down
big
in the
chunky-
bottom, like how good he looks down in the little
Mhm.
Hey, looks
window,
great.
and look how realistic. I
But I remember the guy. It was a really corny dude talking about the Star Fox 64, and it was like I think it was a Sony guy and a Sega guy trying to infiltrate Nintendo headquarters to find
Mhm.
out about Star
Yep.
Fox 64. It was super cheesy, but I loved it. And they all sat down, and the Nintendo guy was showing him how cool. Look at this thing here is called the Rumble Pack. And
Where's
obviously super revolutionary because everything uses force feedback now.
the comparisons
What
to
is it?
Zero? I figured a Zero would be in here at some point, but
Yeah, well, Zero's
it's a different game.
level
But I
wise is
just thought,
pretty different.
I thought
But
for
yeah, some of the
visuals-
bosses are reused.
Dude, that looks
I've seen
so
I've seen
cool,
somebody
man,
do
with
that before.
the green aspect,
Yeah,
the green,
oh.
that looks awesome.
Wait, why does it look so terrible?
That's because it's probably
It's a
not.
3DS.
This isn't upscaled like that
It's
emulator
not
was.
upscaled. It's just
That's
it's
not
stretched.
yeah, that's just straight 3DS. That's
Okay.
just straight 3DS. Yeah.
It's stretched. Okay, that's why.
Well, it's all just that's how
It's
it is.
zoomed
It's
in
straight
3DS original graphics, so it looks.
No, with Citra.
No Citra. Yeah.
Let's see.
It does show how good 3DS,
3DS
games
for
look. Just
Switch.
No,
like
it
Dude.
still looks.
Isn't that crazy?
I remember still being blown away by how good it looks.
We
Well, I mean, like
here we go.
when
We
you
were
when you use
switched to.
Citra and you see how clean they look, it just shows how good they already
Yeah,
are,
right.
and how they.
I mean, Zero looked
make
pretty good,
kids
but it could have
mad.
looked better.
I think
for
yeah,
sure.
it look really good, but I think
Is that what
because-
happened, Lenny? They kidnapped the Nintendo dude and forced him. Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
They kidnapped the Nintendo guy and forced him to tell him what was going on. On it, they were torturing like a Mario doll to get him to talk. They had him in like a vice grip and tighten it and shit. I was dying. This is
Crazy to
hilarious.
watch this because the ship's barely moving, but they're just aiming with the gamepad on
Yeah.
the Wii U.
And you
Oh,
can
yeah,
see
it's true,
there are
it's
differences.
true.
Like this whole area with the water going all the way through to Corneria, that's not in the original.
Mhm.
So there's gonna be some some visual flair going on that's different.
I've always enjoyed how Star Fox Zero looks, but when you look side by side,
Yeah,
you can
it's
they were really needing to use the gamepad. So
Oh, the trench run. This is the
They
trench
can
run.
use
but it
all-
still looks. I mean, even considering
good.
it didn't look as
Absolutely.
good as we thought it would look on Wii U, but it still looks pretty good.
Well, that's because they were streaming it 2 freaking screens, and that's
yeah,
they had to be really cheap with the visuals.
So yeah, it's I mean, Nate the Hate, he was right. He called it.
yeah,
was right.
it's
But-
crazy.
And I think it would have been right on the timing had he not told everybody.
Yeah,
I think Nintendo was just
Nintendo held
like
it
toying with everyone.
to May. Just
They held
to-
it. Yeah, they totally held it.
So I was watching somebody's reaction, and they didn't. Oh, I love Star Fox 64. I played it so much as
This
a
looks
kid.
crazy.
And
Also,
they're like,
that-
I don't
that
remember
lava
this
shit-
area. Like, don't say you're a huge
You
Star
don't remember
Trek
Zonus?
64. You're a huge fan, and then not know. Like, I don't remember the area, but I didn't claim to be a mega fan.
Zonus visually is one of my favorites.
I don't remember it at
Is
all.
that the lava one?
No,
it's
it's
the
like
one
the
with
stormy water.
greenish-
The water, yeah,
Stormy
that's
waters
the one
and-
with the giant eel thing, whatever.
Clocked
yeah,
it
the
said
eel
that
jumping out of the water.
we got to see what Cat's design. I don't know where they showed Cat's design at.
And she would show up and she like that
They
funny
show-
music. Oh, and then Star Fox is
Who's that
always so
bulldog,
annoyed
dude?
by her. Oh no, it's Cat.
Yeah.
Cat, get out of the way.
What the hell? Get off the screen. What the fuck? I guess that's
I
a
mean,
new
it's-
feature.
I didn't say I don't remember the 3DS. It's called Aquas, I think, the underwater level or underwater world. I don't remember. I'm sure they improved the frame rate on that. They had to have. It definitely wasn't what the 64 was putting out, like 10 frames. That shit was, whew, that was brutal.
Let's see if I can
Yeah,
find a picture
I'm,
of Cat
I'm
in
pretty,
the new game.
I'm pretty impressed with it. I was very impressed. Where I just talk about
Oh.
random. I know we had the the whole Nate the Hate thing, but it was just like when Juice sent it in the chat. I didn't see it.
I
yet,
was
and
the
usually
first
I'm, like,
one
the
to see
first
it. I
I'm
couldn't
usually-
believe it.
I'm usually like one of the first to be like, oh, and then when he sent it, I was like, Star Fox Direct. I'm like, oh shit! And you see these new designs. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? And
Because I was
yeah,
away
was
from my
on my
phone
own-
for hours. I was messing around downstairs. I come up and I was like, oh wait, Star
I was
Fox.
playing Tamagotchi at the time.
And I'm like,
But-
oh, I'll
and
just.
also,
I was like, I'm gonna
what
check
was
the
it that I
chat. I'm
was
sure
gonna say?
somebody's already talking about it, and nobody was.
I just
talking about
muted
it.
our
No,
chat once because you're the one that exposed it to me too. I forget what I was doing. I just muted the chat and shut it down. And I was like, oh, let me go watch this.
well, it's
without,
crazy because
uh,
like it was literally like
a
10 minutes
play-by-play.
before it says this is Miyamoto. We're
Yeah.
like what?
they only gave a 10-minute warning.
yeah.
And
was
some people
ridiculous.
were already streaming. I guess they were able to get it going and do
Mhm.
their
Yeah.
live reaction. But a
Mhm.
lot of people were like scrambling and they got ready and did it within 10 minutes. Like, what are you doing? You're online too much.
So
Well, I saw some people were already live streaming it, and they had to change. Oh shit! There's a Starbucks. that we got
imagine without having Nate the Hate leak.
on. I know.
You know,
I know.
Ah,
Yeah, that would have been
yeah.
awesome.
because
That
now
was
it's
very
like,
cool.
is Ocarina of Time real too? Is that?
It's totally real at this point.
That-
I'd be stunned if it's not at this point. Everything
I
he
think
said.
they're gonna-
when
And
he
what is
said
that
more
shit
stuff-
gonna look like?
I think they're gonna do the same thing, where it's just the same. It's the identical game with amazing visuals and better cutscenes.
That's what I'm saying.
Sort of
Like-
like I guess sort of like I guess a more somehow realistic fantasy take on.
I think it's gonna look like a freaking Joel from Last of Us or something like realistic. That'd be weird.
That somber opening music is just gonna be like even crazier. Because people talk about Majora's Mask being dark and whatnot. They forget how dark the original game, or not the original game, but the original N64 Zelda was. There was a lot of darkness in that game. That's why I never give it extra credit, like a lot of people do, for
Yeah.
its dark. themes and whatnot,
Someone
'cause-
was saying they should combine the games if they're gonna do a remake. Just put Ocarina and Majora's
Ooh.
Mask into one.
I don't really know how you would do that.
I don't know
though.
how you do. Well, you would just, I
Yeah.
guess, just continue the story then, because go and
Yeah,
I don't know that don't
like
that
the Kill
they're too
Bill.
That would
completely
be
different
Cold
games.
kind
blooded.
of underwhelming
Yeah.
for me. It'd be like, oh, you go from this kind of big, dramatic story to like
Yeah.
a cool story, but a much smaller, kind of contained. For one game, that'll be kind of weird. I think it'd be a
And
little
also,
jarring.
like,
to
it
me.
doesn't. It's literally like it'd be literally two different games. Like it's not even like a.
Yeah, it's literally
they
two
don't-
different
They
games.
Yeah.
don't complement each other really. To be honest, like they're two completely different vibes, tones.
Oh yeah, the vibes are Very different.
Not even close to me. And I mean, again, like imagine your first half of the game is, and the second half it has all this timer stuff. You're like, what the hell going on? What's going on?
I think maybe
It doesn't really make sense.
yeah, I don't know if they try to combine it into one big story, just make it 2 games on the menu or something, but
I mean, yeah,
I
if you
don't
did that, that'd be sweet.
or
You know,
just
like
they'll just do one and then the other, but
yeah, I think they would.
and
make
it would
money
make
on
sense
both.
because both of those have 3DS versions too. It's fit right in with Star
Yep.
Fox.
Yep. Is there any other 64 that I'm not thinking of that was on the 3DS other than Ocarina and
No.
Majora's? I think that's it, right? It's just those 3 that came.
I know a game that should have been on there, which is Mario 64. That should have been a 3DS game, but it was a DS game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That-
there was
that is
Star
interesting,
Fox, Ocarina, Majora's Mask.
And that was it,
I mean,
right? I think it's-
they put it, yeah, because some of the other games there's Wii games on there, and
yeah, yeah, Luigi's Mansion. That
yeah,
was GameCube.
There's GameCube games too, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion on the Switch Online, like, that looks like even like the doorknob is like round, like it doesn't have the typical polygon evidence of like. There's a little hint of the polygons of like, wow, if they did nothing but just bump up the resolution, like Luigi's Mansion, I guess it was always a good looking game. Don't get me wrong, but I was surprised how good it
Yeah,
looked.
Ayers is right. They're gonna have to do something more with Hyrule Field, I think. Hyrule Field, even back then, was kind of like
Yeah,
oh,
but if you
not-
fill it
not
with
a-
trees and
no.
and
There's-
stuff, it could be.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too. Yeah, if you just kind of put some more foliage, I feel like it already feel bigger and stuff. You know,
Because some
Just
of my
foliage
favorite
stuff?
moments in like Breath of the Wild was just like it didn't look from a distance. You know, you're in a Hyrule Field area or off to the side, and then you get some trees, but next thing you know, I'm just like, I just feel like I'm in the woods. Like it's not huge,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, and I love when as a kid we used to always go across the street. We had good, some good, really cool woods with rows of pine trees. We had a lot of different areas that we like to hang out and play, make forts and stuff. And I just love going into the woods of Breath of the Wild and just like appreciating like the nature and the sounds, you know, and just feel like I'm a kid again in the woods. So like just adding some elements like that. And I mean, obviously it's not a field if it's like a jungle, but they could
yeah,
they
that's
could
true too.
add some stuff. Add like amazing water, like the river and the lakes and stuff. The fishing could be super realistic and awesome looking. You know, like I think they'd have to scale up some of it though. I don't think it should be a 1-to-1 like scale wise. Like I don't know though. We'll see.
Well, that's what I'm worried about when it specifically when it comes to Ocarina of Time is that like that game is gonna feel really small because if you modernize it, I feel like just to me, for me it wouldn't feel like enough. But I don't know. Who knows?
I mean,
Hyrule feels specific because it's like, oh, the land of Hyrule is just like that tiny little field, and then the little hub areas is connected to it. It just, it doesn't.
they would have to
obviously
expand
Breath
like
of
the
Wild does.
town instead of the pre-rendered like 3 or 4 different angles like that, make it a full town. That's
Yeah.
something they could do. Like when you go,
Well, that was the plan at first. And they, if you remember the original, like, because I remember like the betas screens and whatnot that would show up in Nintendo Power, what is it, Castletown, that was originally planned to be like a 3D level, and I guess somewhere in the development it changed. Late in the development, I think actually. They
That would
just
be
maybe
crazy.
realized it was to be too much.
if they make Hyrule Field look more like the original Wii U Zelda like tease, where the field
Oh, the
it was
tech
like this,
demo?
yeah,
Oh,
not the tech demo, the actual
Oh.
like first shot of Zelda U, the field that's completely different from that where there's a
Oh.
castle in the distance and it was like
Yeah.
had some elevation to
It's
it,
like hills. It was like a hilly sort of thing. Yeah.
and I was like,
I-
that would be kind of cool to see some in some
I was gonna
form.
say, like Bribe is saying, I would have wanted it to be, I would want it specifically myself would want it to be more like Final Fantasy VII remake. I'd
Yeah.
rather them go that route with it.
Go all in, make you know.
But not, I don't want
They don't have to drag out everything.
Split
No,
into
but just
different-
like-
No, I don't want that. I'm talking about that part of it. I just mean like a full on like kind of. It's a reimagining. It's not just a remake. It's a
Yeah,
reimagining.
like
also.
I kept explaining, like I never played the original, but walking around Midgar and looking up and
Mhm.
seeing towering above you, like the city above,
Yeah.
it gave me chills, and I never even played the original. You know, like I can't
Yeah.
imagine. And I even said in a video, I don't know if I was live streaming from the PS5 while playing it, or I did it in the Juice Opinions. I was like, I can't imagine like a Link to the Past and being on the ground and looking up at like Death Mountain Tower and above, you know, like a remake of Link to the Past, and actually being on the ground and being in that world, almost like
Make
a
it a
VR.
third-person game.
I
Yeah.
describe it almost like being in VR, just because like going from a top down like art style to like you're on the ground. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
I agree, but I don't know if, based on
I
the
mean,
That would take some time, and I feel like in a way, if they went that route, for me it would be acceptable as the Zelda for Switch 2, at least the original, the first one. I
I
hope
haven't looked at this in a
they'll do
while.
something original.
This is definitely, I see nothing. Maybe the Twin Peaks, maybe the Twin Peaks, right here.
Oh
But
yeah, I don't know if it was Game Explain, but somebody did like
there's some
a
of the areas
kind
are
of
like
data differences and
like
whatnot.
Hateno Village is kind of the entrance to, or the opening area or outside Hateno Village was in that footage when they did the Game Awards thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like if this was like Hyrule Field, not exactly, but something like this that's more hilly and stuff. It could really, they could keep a similar layout or the same layout and just have it feel a little more grand. But yeah,
Well, I understand why they did this. You have to have a concentrated kind of look at the game to get people excited, because it's a big game. Like, stuff like what we're seeing here was kind of is not in the game. Or like, what is that? That looks like some kind of, oh, that's a house,
yeah,
like
it's a
out in the
rooftop.
open. Like that didn't happen.
Yeah, we didn't get that. So
obviously.
the story obviously changed with Ganon
Yeah.
and it being 100 years. I think that was the big. We always speculate, but I think that might have been the
big
big thing
change.
that they're like, "Whoa, we came
Yeah.
up, we have this idea, and we're gonna need some work." But I still remember Leveled Head saying, "This isn't Wii U. This is the NX footage." And looking back at this, it's not looking that
He
clean.
said that?
Level-headed gamer. He's like, "This is not the
Well, I
Wii
mean,
U.
obviously,
This
you're
is
doing what the people who complained about Star Fox Originals graphics, like, back in, what was it, 2013,
This is
2014, 2014. This looked a lot more amazing to us back then. Like,
I mean,
I remember that reveal, and I'm like, what? The Wii U can do this? Like, I was blown away.
remember, like they have the Guardian
That part
chase
was
him and
fake.
crazy out, like rip out a bridge.
Well,
This is straight into
Yeah,
it. Remember?
I mean, obviously that part was
Yeah.
not a real.
This is like, look at this.
But the Guardian chasing you,
Yeah, I think-
this is just a perspective difference. That's all.
But then there's like a destructible element
It was more
here.
destructible. It
Well,
looked
yeah,
like there was
that's when
one
it
big
gets to it.
destructible
Like
environment.
this
That's
is the
when it
part
gets a
I
little
was thinking.
bullshotty.
Yeah, it was a little.
Yeah, that stuff.
This is a cinematic.
It's like,
That's cinematic
what
stuff.
the fuck? I remember like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, when I saw Link for the first time, I was like, it's perfect. I was just
Is that
like,
a
it's
girl?
perfect.
Yeah, I remember people saying, I think
It
that might
does.
be-
I was like,
Whether it
looks
was
like
or
a guy.
wasn't, I
Looks
still
like
thought it
Link
was
to me.
perfect. I love the art
Doesn't look
style.
like Link to me. And yet, the arrow does do that.
He did have that in the game, man. The
Yeah.
slow down breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, as for Ocarina of Time, man, I don't know. That's something where I don't know what the hell to do. Like Final Fantasy remake sort of thing is more like a whole. I know it's a reimagining, but essentially it's its own. It really is like its own damn game. So it's like
I'm
like,
not saying thematically. I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying as far as like the world expanding it and stuff like that.
Just making it
Look,
almost
I'm not
bigger
even a
than-
fan of Final
making-
Fantasy VII Remake. I haven't played it. I don't plan on
I
playing
like
it.
it.
I'm kind of a purist in that way.
But yeah, they
That's
didn't
what-
remake a top-down, what do you call it, pre-rendered background game and remake that way. Like they,
No,
yeah,
yeah,
that,
I don't care about that part of it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what you
for
mean.
me,
Like a,
it's a battle system. That's my problem with
yeah, but I'm just
the
saying
Final
this,
Fantasy VII Remake.
Well, that's
the
there's,
difference
for me,
between
like,
Ocarina of
Ocarina's
Time.
different because it's already 3D. You already have
Yeah.
these
Right.
bigger things. So it's kind of like you kind of like almost kind of, I guess, where you guys just make things more
Grander,
fleshed
make things
out,
bigger.
grander. So yeah,
Flesh
like
them
you
out.
said,
Yeah, that's all I'm really saying. I'm not
Just
saying like do a completely
bigger
different game.
city, same city, but with bigger,
Yeah.
more things. I
Mhm.
guess I don't know.
Like
I'm just
make Zora's Domain feel like Zora's Domain. Make it feel bigger and grander. That kind of stuff. Make you know,
I know some of it, like the inside the
Goron
Deku,
City and all
like
that stuff.
inside the
Grander.
Deku tree, like that felt like a pretty substantial like level to start with. I don't know that I want to see that like increase in like
No, no, no.
size or
I'm talking
anything,
about the
but
world. Like, I think the dungeons are pretty much don't touch them. You know,
hmm
not if you do, don't
Yeah, I
do
don't know how
too
you
much
could
to
touch
them.
the dungeons. I don't think you can touch
Yeah,
the dungeons.
like the dungeons, I'm completely fine with because that's again, that's a more contained area.
do they make
That's fine.
more
I'm just talking about the
seamless
world itself.
from Hyrule Field up to is it Kakariko in Ocarina,
Yeah, yeah. Kakariko's in there.
and then to Death Mountain? Like, is it more of a was it be any
Probably like no
loading
loading.
screens? You think in between
Nah, I don't.
areas? Or is
Well,
I
it?
there
think
won't be loading screen, right? That
yeah.
kind of stuff. That's what I mean. Like, how do you do that without, how do you do just a straight up remake like what they did with Star Fox even for Ocarina of Time and have that stuff like all be together?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's different things going on from level like when you're climbing up the domain itself, or there's like a locked camera stuff going on. There's all that kind of stuff going on. So I think to me, you got to change that kind of stuff for the remake. If you're making a remake, it has to be grander. The Death Mountain has to be bigger. You know.
And you think they're gonna make it so you can get across without Epona with the hook shot? You can keep that in place.
Oh man.
The dual hook
Unless
shot.
they make it some crazy. Well, even then, I've never in Breath of the Wild I ran anyway, so it doesn't matter how big this world is. I'm probably still gonna run.
Like for me, it's still I still blown away by the fact that you played the game and didn't even touch Epona. That's crazy because I didn't even think you could do it. I mean, I didn't ever thought about it, but I didn't think that was a thing that was possible. And
I
of
don't think
course,
every
you just
single
do it
thing
with
has to be
ease.
scaled bigger, personally, but
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to understand because I'm like, it's tough because it's like I get like that, but it's like I feel like Ocarina is pretty big.
it's a
man.
pretty,
Ocarina
I mean, meaty
it's a
game.
pretty big game.
When's the last time you played it?
A few years ago when I played it the first time, remember? It's like it's a pretty. It took me like
Yeah.
I feel like 30 hours to beat the game, or more than that. It was a longer time.
Oh no! Again, the dungeons are why. I think that a big part of why.
Yeah.
It takes
Oh,
what it takes.
So you're
The
really
dungeons are
looking at
fantastic.
around it. So the actual
Yeah, I'm just talking about the world itself. I think if you just plop down a better looking version of what you have now, I don't. For me, that I don't think that's modern enough. I don't think it works. The way Star Fox works. Star Fox works because it's an on rails game. You're not paying too much attention to everything for too long because you're just going past it. Other than like the all range stuff.
What would
But
be
for
like
a game
a
like Zelda's an adventure, so you're going to be going through these things multiple times, and it's going to feel, to me, it's going to feel a little cheap, a little clunky, passing through Hyrule Field with nothing out there. And yeah, you got some more trees and that kind of stuff, but add to it.
well,
think
I
you should
mean, you
add-
could make like chest high grass that's like blowing in the wind that looks amazing that you can cut and stuff. Like it doesn't all have
Yeah.
to be just like trees and stuff, but like just adding hills, like I said, adding some elevation to it. Maybe Hyrule Castle's up higher in your field.
more like I'm thinking like more like Twilight Princess is Hyrule Field. Like just make it a little bit more expansive, a little bit more like a world than it looks in Ocarina of Time.
I'm just thinking about like
the original.
with the Star Fox level like visuals. I keep saying Star Trek. I'm watching Star Trek, so that's probably why. But like the Deku tree, inside the Deku tree with the spider webs and you got the torch and all that, like it's just gonna be like the lighting was even pretty cool back then.
Man.
Like
Just imagine.
it's gonna I'm just at this point I'm just taking it that it's real. Like
Yeah, well,
Yeah, at this point, to be honest with
he's been pretty on point with some big stuff. The
you.
launch of the
Stuff.
Switch
That's why
2.
it's not like it's just
Yeah,
the
It's
name
not
of a
small little things you could guess.
Mhm.
These are like really specific things. Somebody's telling them something and they know. So
And the crazy thing is, he's not the only one, man. I will say, but there's I've seen multiple, and actually was even before Nate, and actually talked about
Mhm.
Star Fox. I was like, whoa. I don't know
Yeah.
how to get any stuff leaked, but they gotta be careful, man, because I've seen stuff from up to 2027 already now. Like,
yeah,
damn,
I'm starting to worry about these people that who are leaking these things. You want to keep your job because is it that important? You
Yeah,
tell
well,
somebody
also,
who has 20,000 subscribers these things.
what's the benefit of them, right? What's the benefit of the employees doing it? I don't
Yeah,
understand. I'm not understand. I don't quite get it.
I don't get it.
I don't really get it at all.
People risk their jobs over even worse things, more stupid things than this. So it's
Yes.
not like it doesn't happen, but it just seems crazy to me. Like, why would you do it?
Well, that's why, yeah, there's been a lot of things that have been like leaked and talked about. I try not to. I won't like say stuff like that. But I did tell Juice one thing just as to get his idea. You might have probably seen
Here's
stuff.
leaked footage of the remake. I'll probably get copyrighted.
Oh, is this some Unreal Engine thing? It might honestly end up looking more like something like that. Man, I'm not even gonna lie.
Ugh. Ugh.
It just without the artistic touch. I mean, this ain't the worst one I've seen, but
No.
without the artistic touch, somebody that can just use Unreal Engine
I've seen this before.
effectively.
Yeah.
Um,
I do think.
looks pretty good.
honestly think we're
Like
gonna.
that-
It's gonna look
the
Tingle of Time
sunset
looks pretty
thing's
cool.
cool.
maybe not look like literally this, but it's gonna
See that
try for
looks
some
like the lighting
Yeah.
is what's selling this area for me. Like
for sure. No,
actual lighting could make it
Oh,
like,
especially Lost Woods. Like Lost Woods
because that to me like
be more expensive.
that was a big like negative for me with Metroid Prime 4 was the lack of like any real time lighting. I was like, man,
Spoiler alert! Skull Kid. Oh.
I don't think it'll look
But, like, this
exactly,
area is
but
like,
I think
nah,
it will.
that-
I think it will look.
this looks
more-
terrible, but
I think it's gonna lean more into realism than even like what like maybe Twilight Princess was thinking about. To be honest with you, after seeing the Starbucks thing, I think they probably were talking it like between. Why don't we try to focus how the game looked, but the same idea of what we had, but today.
see the Goron
I
looks
think-
good, but like just a
Well,
generic
that's like
rocks.
just the character model, essentially.
Yeah, like
But
the
just,
character,
garbage
the
up.
rocks.
Yeah, they just stuck. Yeah,
Like that's got the kind of what I was
oh,
thinking.
that's pretty good.
Let's
That's
go
pretty
back
good.
there. That's kind of what I was thinking about hills and stuff. Like it doesn't have to be like a forest, but having like is that the ranch or is that something? I don't know.
Yeah, it's
but,
Lawrence.
yeah, this is just some elevation. That's all in
Yeah,
obviously a little bit bigger.
stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I meant. It's definitely bigger, by the way, too. It's not like
It
So-
does look bigger.
and like
I guess
the lighting really does like can really transform it.
it's some bad lighting right here, though. Just dark as hell where he's standing.
See, I don't mind.
Yeah, you
Like
can
I
barely
would
see him.
rather like be in complete
Oh.
darkness in areas.
That just reminded me of what's his name that has his girlfriend play games.
Oh,
She was
Wilson.
struggling with that.
Yeah,
part.
she wasn't
Yeah,
getting high
Wilson.
enough.
Yeah, she wasn't. She didn't figure it out for a while.
What the fuck is this?
What was
Metro?
that?
What the
You got
hell?
Fallout.
Was
I
it
was
Link
like-
Wolf
I was like, damn, that's
or Wolf Link?
uh,
I said Link Wolf.
I don't
Is
know
that
what this
Starfield?
video just turned into, but
It's probably some promo for other stuff. Or
I guess it could have been just saying, who knows? We
Check
have
out the
volleyball for
DLSS.
the comparisons with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, again, it's another Switch 2 version that looks better than the Series S version, like cleaner textures, sharper image.
Yeah.
And it's
You were doubting that one. That was one that you're
It
like, I
still
don't know how
doesn't
they gonna
look
do it.
great, but the Switch 2's
Yeah, but I
looks
don't think
better.
you even believed that it was even gonna come. You were like, I don't think. this
No,
game
there's
is gonna
one
be Switch
one
2.
area where it's
do you
just
think Final Fantasy was coming?
Well, I remember when I said they're gonna do all three of them, and then I remember you're like, I don't know. I was like,
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
they're
mean,
definitely
it's
doing all
not
three.
it's not like it's impressive that
Well, they,
but there's
And now
areas where
part
I'm
3
like,
is
yeah,
gonna
it
be
looks,
built with a
looks a little
Switch 2 in
bad.
mind. You know.
we live in a world of scaling.
But it even looked
Especially
kind of
thanks
rough
to
on base
PC
PS5.
handheld.
That's the thing. Like even the base PS5 was looking pretty
Well, that's why
blurry.
I think you said you didn't think it might have come because it was already rougher on base PS5. You're like, I'm surprised it would even come. But yeah,
You know?
I mean, it's but for Ocarina of Time, man, I don't know. I don't know what. I'm very curious to see. I do love the fact that that they announced Star Fox and it comes out literally next month. I
Mhm.
think that's awesome. I know we're all about like, man, what are they planning for? But this Nintendo,
I
man,
like some hype. I like, it don't have to be 2 months away or a month and a half. Can we, 6 months? Is
a
that
little
too
bit.
bad? I don't think that's too bad.
I
I
think
don't
you'll
know.
get that for June. I think in June we'll probably get like more of a advanced for
But
games
didn't I say
for the
that last
second half.
week? I said if Star Fox gonna come out, they're gonna have to reveal it before like a June direct.
Well, yeah, I mean
So
they have
like,
to. Yeah, there was no way they're gonna announce it, and then oh, by the way, it comes out next week. you know, but it was
so
it
yeah,
was. I think
What
it's.
day is
this is
June
Switch 2
25th?
footage too.
I think
This looks
that
pretty
isn't
good.
that actually like a Thursday.
Probably a Thursday, huh? Because I'm like, man, I wish they would could have like made it on the same day, but probably just
They've been
doesn't work.
doing lately like Thursday releases. It's bizarre. And it's just weird, man. I think it's
Looking at my
look. I love
calendar
the
here.
fact that we. I know it's
Oh
like
yeah,
you want
it's a
to hear
Thursday.
what's coming out in the future, but it is. I think it is cool that they be like, you know what, this game comes out next month. You know what, this game comes out in 2 months. You know what, this game. It's like you don't
Yeah,
have to have like waiting for years.
and
Um,
they clearly tried to match um, the actual time it came out back in '97 with this release.
How do you
Because
feel about
yeah.
them?
it's as close as they could get. Other than like Friday, which is the 26th. Nothing comes out on a Saturday, so you wouldn't do that.
How do you
Um,
feel them
and
spoiling
the
like
30th is Tuesday. I mean, I guess they could have done that, but
how the
because it
Star
came out
Fox
June 30th.
Direct? They just straight up spoiled the scene from the movie. Like if you hadn't seen the movie yet, they just showed his
well, I mean,
introduction.
even that. I
Yeah, well,
mean,
what are
like
you doing if you haven't seen the movie
we
yet? What
knew
are you doing?
Fox was in the movie. They know he's
Yeah,
in the
but they
movie.
didn't
I
have to
don't think it
show his
was
like introduction sequence with the cool
I
animation and
mean, it's
stuff.
the cool
I think at
sequence
this point
doing
it
it
wasn't
for
that bad.
Yeah, I don't think that's a big
You,
deal.
you know he's in the movie. That sequence isn't like
Yeah, I don't
whatever.
feel too
Because it's
bad
not
for
like
the
they showed
people,
up
but
all of his footage and stuff in it.
little
That would be
surprised
crazy.
for that they just chose to do it. I guess I
Well, it's
wasn't.
funny because I mean,
Well,
like
I
a
was
lot
more
of people are
surprised they
like,
chose to announce that he was in the fucking movie before
Yeah,
it came out. I wish they didn't do that, and then I'd be with you as far as like, wow, they just put his scene right there in the direct. Uh,
well, they that was one thing where I know a lot of people was like, oh, what? How they already had the design for the movie? Why would they not do that for the game? I'm like, this game was before the movie, bro. You're crazy.
yeah.
Like
Oh, and
this
by
game
the
was made
way,
before, and
uh,
it's also like
two people
yeah.
were. I think there was kind of like an article or whatever. One about the original developer of the game, one of the original developers, Japanese developers of the game, and he was like, "Yeah, that this version is what I always wanted for Star Fox." And it was somebody else. I can't remember who the other person was who was saying, "Yeah, they prefer like the movie Star Fox design or whatever, but they still really like the game version." But the
yeah,
original developer of the game himself said, "Yeah, this is what I wanted. Obviously we couldn't do that back then.
Yeah,
This is what
that
I
was his.
wanted for Star
yeah. It would have
Fox."
been. I think it would have been cool to have it be the look of the from the movie because I think he looks great in the Galaxy movie.
My thing is, I
Yeah, but then
think
the game is completely different at that
yeah, that
point.
too.
Like it doesn't look the way it looks now.
Yeah,
I would rather have the game look like this and still, like I said, harken back to the original vision of Star Fox, Bucky O'Hare. I keep pushing that theory that Star Fox has some influence from Bucky O'Hare.
Well,
well, did they
That's
play
the
like
cartoon.
almost a Star Wars little theme in the
oh yeah, that
beginning? In
was
the
like the very beginning. It was
yeah,
almost like a damn near Star Wars theme.
Yeah.
it's like what?
Dun, 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 dun. It was like, what the hell?
And then the ship literally comes out the same way you get the Star Destroyer from the original Star Wars movie, where it just comes over this the camera's under it and shit, and then it's like, oh,
There's even the little
uh,
whistle before,
great,
like the.
That's what I said.
yeah.
It's
Well, and
crazy.
Clearly,
I will say one thing that always drives me crazy, and I think for some reason people think that that Nintendo in the movie they're working hand in hand with like using the designs of movies because people still keep forgetting that Donkey Kong Bonanza was not based on the movie. It was
No,
based on
that's
Mhm.
true.
they based the movie on the new game. It
on
was
the new game, right?
that's
It was the
big
other
thing,
way.
like, oh, but how come? Why would you make this design for the movie and not use it for the game? Because there's two different things. There was not they still have not
Yeah.
made a single character where they've say taken the movie and put it into a game. They've taken
Hmm.
a game and put it into a movie. And for some reason, people were like, "Well, Donkey Kong Bonanza was based on the original Donkey Kong." his original illustration from Miyamoto, and that was in development before the fucking movie was
Right.
going out.
And
Like,
it's
come
very
on.
obvious. Just look at it. You could tell that
That shit is
again,
annoying.
they wanted the original. They said, finally, we could actually do what we drew, 30, 40 years ago. Now we can actually do that on the game itself. And that's what we're getting. That's what we're finally getting. I'm cool with that. I
And
like
Fox's
that.
design in the movie was awesome, absolutely. But like,
Yeah,
but like,
it was
man,
awesome. Yeah,
that's the movie. That's the
that
movie
fits the
version.
movie. That fits the movie better than it fits the game. At least again the original vision of the game.
Especially this, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially this one.
Oh, I saw people. It's T's buddy. I've never seen anything from him, but people react. It's your Nintendine. He's like, oh, Nintendo tax. Look at the Mario Brothers movie. If you want to rent the digital version, it's $29.99, and then he just left, and everyone's like ripping him. Like, it's so obvious. He just saying the stuff to get clicks.
Everything now, it's like
Because
it's absurd.
no replies to any of it. Everyone's just. I'm like, why you guys? Like, the only reason I saw it because Sandstorm and Robert's Rule too. I think both commented on it, and I'm
they
like,
probably don't know. Like that
everyone's just like almost every movie's $29.99 when it's. I don't know if it's purchase or rent at this point. You can't. It's not on Peacock or anything. It's like on iTunes. So I'm guessing it's a purchase price or
just for purchase right now.
and it's like they're like every movie's $29.99. Every new movie that's still in theaters is $29.99. Like, shut the you just make yourself look stupid again. It's like, I guarantee he knew that before he tweeted, and it's just people are falling or it's clickbait. It's just simple as that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's like it's not even worth talking about that dude anymore because it's so obvious. I'm tired of talking about him. I used to talk about him a lot.
I told my work buddy, the Linus guy who listens to Linus podcast. I said, well, you're about to hear news about the Switch 2 price went up. And he's like, oh, haven't heard or seen anything yet. I was like, well, if they were the first ones to do it, it would have been all over. Like, if they did it before Sony and PlayStation and Xbox did any price increase for tariffs or anything, and Nintendo was the first to raise the price, I said it would have been the end of the world. So maybe it's just at this point, it's just not
$80 games.
Yeah, but also I think for them, I really believe a lot of people just think the Switch 2 has always been 500.
That's what,
Every
he
time
said that.
Talk to me, say 500, 500, 500. I'm like, they about to make this shit 500 because you guys keep saying it's 500. It's
really
not 500
is now.
You guys keep saying it's 500.
And again, Switch 2, tech-wise, how much better is it than Switch 1? A pretty big leap over Switch 1.
And I just showed a comparison to PS5, and it's not that. Yeah. It's not like night and day.
Right. Yeah. You're talking about a leap. Are you talking about a console that was $100 more than the original Switch or Switch OLED anyway when it came out, and now it's $150 more. To me, that's not that bad. I mean, obviously, you don't want a price increase, but that was inevitable. That was going to happen.
Unfortunately,
I don't think they couldn't avoid it.
Everybody, unfortunately, like, what can you do? I guess, but it just sucks because. Yeah. What the hell is a PS6 and an Xbox Series going to cost, man? I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're going to cost.
At least $7. Probably more.
I don't care because I ain't buying that shit.
No.
They talked about it. They
$1,100 on a handheld PC.
Sony in their briefing said that they're starting to, what was it, put things towards the next generation console. Like I don't think it's going to be.
This generation is just now getting like.
I know.
Like 9th gen only games that are really showcasing the power. Like, look at Crimson Desert. Look at how great that. Resident Evil Requiem looks freaking phenomenal. What was it? Pragmata. GTA 6 is gonna look amazing. I don't think there's this clamoring of people who need the next system. Like, just.
But unfortunately, I think we're starting to see that even that's the case. I think because of price hikes, totally the PS5 sales for like the last quarter slowed down, and I think it's still they're already almost at 100 million, so they've got a big base. You know what I'm saying? So at their point, they're like, well, we need to still make more hardware sales, even if it's gonna slowly trickle in. We're gonna get the PS6 out, and I think, man, that PS6 is gonna last even longer than the PS5 is gonna last long, and then the PS6 is gonna last even longer.
And just think of the game development time for
Oh my
Yeah.
god, the
Naughty
development
Dog still
cycle
hasn't
is
released a game.
And it might not come out
that's
till 2027.
crazy. By the way, that's
He did.
crazy.
I think
We're
Intergalactic is
6
going to
years
be
into a
a
console.
launch title with PS6 at this point.
You know when
We're
Almost
I
like-
6 years into a console, and Naughty Dog, your most storied developer, has not released a game.
and Neil
on your
Druckmann
console.
said in
That is
2022 or whenever Elden Ring came out, he's like, "Wow, I'm just really impressed. I want to try to implement some of their game design philosophies into our next game." I was thinking, yeah, that's cool. That's a good thing,
Yeah.
But at the cost of how long is that going to take them to get to that?
Elden Ring 2 is going to be out.
God dang.
Yeah,
GTA 7 gonna be out there.
I think really, no, I do think though that's their one. Even though it'll still be cross-gen, but I think to try to boost some PS6 sales is they'll have like Intergalactic be like cross-gen, and then they'll have 60 FPS for GTA 6, a PS6 edition of GTA 6. Like I don't. It's it's gonna be tough to. I think that will be the slowest because the PS5 is actually quite close.
sales
to
wise,
PS4.
it wasn't terrible like each year, but
No,
as far as,
it's-
like, the
dude, it's close to
games-
100 million, so it's done fantastic, and it's actually only like a few million behind the PS4, so it's not like that far. But in terms of the same time wise, but it's only going to get less and less just because of the price increase, and so I don't know, man. I mean, maybe GTA 6 will really affect it, where people will say, "Oh, I got to get a PS5 now," but I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm surprised Rockstar doesn't want to launch a PC version day one. You know what I mean? Just to really become guaranteed to be the biggest entertainment opening of all time. But
I think they gotta stick with their plan. Put it out on consoles, and then a year, 2 years later, put it out PC, and a lot of those console guys will rebuy the game, and then all the PC guys will buy it. Like it's just crazy how I know people that double and triple dipped, and they got it on PS4, and they got a 360, PS4, PC. They have 3 different versions of it. It's like,
I mean, even me, I bought an Xbox 360, and then I bought it on PC, and I think at some point I had GTA 5 for PS4. I don't know how. I don't have it anymore though.
then it has a
We're getting
PS5.
GTA 6 before a Naughty Dog game
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
on PS5. That's
And it's
wild.
been Last of Us Part 2 was 2020.
2020, so we're talking 6 years, and it's like
Well, they did
You know, I
work. They spent a lot of time on the multiplayer game, and then
the factions that got canceled.
Yeah,
So
they blew a load on that one.
unfortunately,
wasted
Sony
time.
kind of almost washed away the generation because of Jim Ryan and the whole
Mhm.
live service stuff.
is
You
he
know?
still in charge? He's not still in
Like,
charge, is he?
Oh no, he's gone.
No, he's long gone. He should be arrested though for what he did.
Yeah.
they should arrest that dude, bro.
I
Like,
still
what?
can't get over they got rid
On
of
your
Blue
way out.
Point.
That's what you did.
How do you get rid of Blue Point? You could have had them helping another team or
Insane.
something. Speaking
Insane.
of T, I don't know if this was confirmed or not, but I saw a couple weeks ago that, and maybe this is just old news, but that Blizzard is now helping with Fable. Like I don't know if that was real. Someone just was making that up. Have you
I
heard
haven't
that?
heard that.
Yeah, I
No.
haven't heard it.
And someone's saying that they think it's probably more the combat and some of the, I mean, because honestly, Playground Games, I mean, they have great track record with Forza games, but that's a pretty big transition. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's true, but I never saw anybody else talk about it, so it might have just been a rumor or something.
Oh no, actually, hold on. Let me see. I'm seeing that apparently Matt Booty said it. Let me see.
Okay, well,
It was on. It was
probably
on a podcast. He said.
real deal then.
He said that I get. Well, the headline is that studios are in a culture of cultures and work together more than you think. Blizzard is even helping out with Fable. Let me see where
Okay.
that says.
Well, I mean, you got to utilize your talents, so that makes sense.
Well, I mean, look at. I mean, I always say. I mean, Call of Duty is literally. It used to be just one developer. Now it's like 13. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
You know?
they're still planning on fall, but man, when's GTA 6's release date?
November 19th, I believe.
Yeah, why would you put that out?
You'd
I
want
wouldn't do it.
Fable to be well before that.
Yeah, November 19th.
Early September, at the latest.
Yeah, that's yeah. If you can't get it out by
Oh,
September,
they're helping
you
with
gotta.
the cinematics, Blizzard, according to this.
Yeah, it says cinematic specifically. Yeah,
Oh.
cinematics.
I mean,
Okay.
Blizzard was known for their cinematics. Like, that's
Yeah.
why a lot of fans were so mad when they went live action with the World Warcraft movie, because they're like, the cinematics in these games is as good as a movie, and
I
he's
didn't even
like,
know this
why?
is Xbox's official podcast that talks about it. I've never actually.
You said Matt Booty. That's a wrap then. If
Mhm.
he said it.
I've never seen. Well, it's also on literally it's Xbox's official YouTube channel. Their podcast. I didn't know they have a podcast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they got a podcast.
I've been seeing some previews of, I didn't watch them, of the 007 game, and I mean, people seem to be liking it.
People seem to be liking it.
I don't know. I'll have to see more, but if it's more, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if it's more like just more of a standard linear adventure game than trying to be that like the Hitman gameplay in a Bond. But there are some Bond movies where he does, dress up as somebody else and go on. So I wouldn't see. I see that working.
Which ones? The goofy ones with fucking Roger Moore?
I mean, not super dressed up, but always just trying to pretend to be somebody else, like even at a last minute thing, just trying to act like he's, so and so.
I'm a Bond super fan, but the Roger Moore era is not my favorite.
No.
Sorry, Roger.
I actually like
Love you.
the second Timothy Dalton one. I always liked that one.
License to Kill.
Yeah.
That there's a whole storyline behind that, but that's when Pierce was supposed to take over, but he was on that show Remington Steele, and they wouldn't let him out that contract. Nah, bro. What was messed up is that, like, less than a year later, they canceled the fucking show, and it's like, you screwed me out of being Bond, you bastards. But yeah, it's messed up.
And did you guys see that I'm sure Sony's really regretting buying Bungie because they lost money on that one.
Ooh, what happened?
Bungie, with how they lost like 750 million.
$760-something million loss, yeah.
Because
surprise!
Again, I think that was also Jim Ryan. It's so strange how he thought that we're gonna make like 10 live service games and they're all gonna be fantastic and they're all gonna have player bases and we're gonna make a ton of money on each one.
Because he basically turned Bungie into a approval studio for their live service games.
How well was Destiny 2 doing at that point? I wonder. Like,
apparently really good.
Yeah,
I don't even know if this new game's Marathon or whatever. Just it's one of those things you can't force like a popular online game that's just gonna it's gonna like kills or not Killzone. What's the Helldivers? No one thought Helldivers 2 was gonna be such a big hit, but they just put out the game and it was a big hit.
I mean, at least with Marathon, they got money because it's a pay game.
Marathon's
So at least at the minimum, they got some money. I don't know.
They have a decent player base for now.
Yeah, that's why. Like, it's not like it's some really, like, it's not a flop. Like,
no, but it's not like.
But it's not like also. Is it one that they're gonna be able to sustain for years and years and years that they think they're gonna keep working on? It's just as we said the other time. It's like there's nothing wrong with. Why can't we just have games where you purchase it, you buy it, and you play that game? That's it. We don't need to continue to keep working on it. Like, just release a fully complete game. Call it a day, and that user base eventually dwindles or whatever, but that's fine because you already made your money.
I mean, how many single player games have been like massive hits and game of the year winners in the last like 5-6 years? Like,
well, it's only realistically. Really only the last time that there was like a especially for the Game Awards was Overwatch was the last one. That was a multiplayer game
from 2017 to now.
My man Visor, he knows what's up. Pierce Brosnan is my favorite Bond. He doesn't have the best movies.
No, they're corny. But
other than GoldenEye was
really, it's a good movie too. It's still a good movie, but
yeah, it's a great movie still. But I'm just talking about the embodiment of who Bond is. Pierce Brosnan is Bond to me. I mean, I know that's sacrilegious to my boy, the original Sean Connery. I mean, he is Bond, obviously. But for my tastes, my modern tastes, Pierce is my guy.
I wish his movies were better, but
I just wish his movies were better. Yeah, man. He really had a movie where he basically the villain was like the head of Fox,
Yeah.
Rupert Murdoch basically was the villain in that movie. Good God, that was bad.
But anyway, getting back to like big successful single player games. I mean, Hogwarts Legacy, how many 20 something 30 million that sell? Elden Ring's 20 something million.
Yeah,
Like,
but
no.
do you remember how ridiculous it is that Warner Brothers, remember they said this is our best selling game like ever.
Yeah, and then they're
By the
gonna
way, we're gonna start focusing on live
Mhm.
service games. Wait, what? That was so
They-
strange. They in the same sentence they announced this is the one our best selling game, and by the way, we're gonna stop doing less. We're gonna do less of these. What? Ah,
I
how in the
mean,
world? How do you learn that? That what? It's so bizarre. So bizarre.
I'm not saying that if you make a single player game, it's going to be a huge hit, but this idea that live service is your money maker. Sorry,
Yeah.
like, I mean, what else? Baldur's Gate sold really well. Clear Obscura. I think Crimson Desert was over 5 million a while.
Goddamn every
weeks ago.
Nintendo game.
Yeah, Nintendo's games, Breath of the Wild's selling huge. There's been just a lot of examples of single player games just like selling really well, and again though that's it's not a guarantee, but at least you don't have to. You can focus on that, and
and move on.
but you
Yeah.
also don't have to make it a $300 million budget. You could do a
That's true.
try to do it.
But that's one thing that I think the big studios still haven't learned, and eventually they gotta learn. I mean, again, Nintendo obviously knows,
Mhm.
but a lot of other studios do not.
Yeah,
and,
Intergalactic. Is that what it's called? Is that the full
yeah,
name?
Intergalactic.
That's going to be an expensive game when it's done by
Yeah.
then.
Of course.
It's been like if you're not like GTA, you can't be putting down some crazy ass numbers in terms of these.
Well, just
like,
look at
it's crazy because like literally they were saying that it's over like 1 point something billion dollars is GTA 6's budget.
Well, yeah, they
And
can
I believe
afford it.
man. I believe it. But that shit is they're probably gonna make $1 billion in the weekend, and it's gonna they'll at least make their money back.
We'll see though. When 5 came out, the install base was 160 total, so it's going to be about the same
That's
install
the
base.
thing, though. That's what I keep saying is that it's like it's a big. I still like it.
PS3 and Xbox were both around 80 million at that point.
Yep. And then,
Yep.
but,
And then
you
they're
know,
gonna slide into PC at some point, and then it'll slide on the Switch too.
maybe. Hey, look, if they were smart about it, they would try to downscale it if all they can to make that shit run on Switch 2. Then
What
makes no
else?
sense.
The Final Fantasy games are also on Xbox because the Switch 2 got all the coverage because that's the only channels I follow are Switch
For sure.
or
Yeah,
Nintendo.
when those got launches, it also launched with Xbox at the same time.
Same
well-
with Kano as well. Or no, was Kano already on Xbox?
It has
Might have
been
might
for
already
a
been.
few years now on Xbox. It's I think it's so strange that I'd be curious to see what it's gonna sell. I think GTA 6 will end up being the best selling game for both consoles by far, for sure. And I think it's gonna happen in a very fast pace for both
Yeah.
consoles.
I mean, I
Um,
might even be tempted to buy it depending on the hype where it's at when the game comes
For
out.
sure, for sure.
I haven't
Well,
bought.
it's just like
It's been 2013. It's been 13 years since I bought GTA 5. So
literally, is that crazy? Yeah, it's nuts.
I mean,
And I mean,
what else was I looking at? Something from 2011, a movie. It was freaking 2011. I was like, that's 15 years ago. I can't remember what movie it was now, but it's like, god damn. Like,
isn't Harry Potter 2011?
it wasn't
Yeah,
Harry
of
Potter. I was
course.
looking it up today. I was looking. Guy was.
Jeez.
Sucker Punch. It's not a great movie, but I was like, I still remember
Sucker
going
Punch.
with my coworkers at work. I talked them into it because I was like, man, Zack Snyder. I
What
love
did
his
they think?
style. We're all like, this movie's stupid. We went and saw it opening night. It might have been midnight. I talked him into it, and I'm like, I was embarrassed. I was like, wow. Like this.
I saw it in the theaters with a friend of mine. and
I've
we
gotten
both were-
over time. The more I've seen it,
Well,
I've
yeah, you've come around on that.
come around a little bit. Still, I think it was a dumb decision to do like the 3 different layers of imagination, but whatever. And I was like, man, that was
Like,
15
who do you
years
think you
ago.
are, Christopher Nolan? That shit ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
That's if you had him writing it or directing it even,
And then when did
maybe it would have worked way
Inception
better.
come out? After that?
It was before that. Inception was before.
Was
It's
it?
like 2008.
No, it was
Like
Dark Knight
2008?
2008. So
Oh,
it was after the Dark Knight, but
it couldn't have
before.
been like 2010. I don't feel like it's
It was
2010.
before the Dark Knight
Interstellar?
Rises, I
Is
want
that
to say.
Interstellar?
No,
Inception.
Inception.
Inception. Let me see. I don't.
I would
know
say
it's-
it was either before the
it
Dark
is-
Knight or after, or right, or
It was
2000,
2010.
2010.
2010.
Damn.
Oh wow, it was 2010. Wow.
And
That's
yeah,
a
Dark
surprise.
Knight is 2008.
So he just,
I didn't feel like it got to the tens, but
I saw something. He confirmed that the Odyssey is going to be told. The story's going to be told out of sequence. I'm like, of course. At this point, that's just his thing. I watched Oppenheimer Saturday night for the third or fourth time. All I was going to do is watch the beginning. I was sitting in the Robert chair, I call it. I was like, I'm going to watch. I want to watch an IMAX movie with IMAX shots. I want to sit closer. I was like, well, that's a good one to, like, as far as visual quality and stuff. I'll sit close, and I start watching the intro, and I was like, man, I really liked the first 2 hours of that movie a lot. You know, I mean, the last
I love the
45
first
minutes,
two-
the last
it's
45
3
minutes
hours.
to me is just like, what are we doing? None of it makes sense. It doesn't go with the rest of the movie for me personally. But I didn't watch the whole movie. I didn't even get
what movie we talking about?
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Oh,
And I'm like, there's sequences where I'm like, there was just no reason to like jump back and forth so much in this scene or in this this part of the movie, and it doesn't work for every movie. It works really good for Inception. He doesn't really do it that much in Tenet, surprisingly, and Interstellar just a little bit, you know. But sometimes he goes overboard, and it's like, does the Odyssey, does that movie need to have jump back and forth? But we'll see. I'm expecting it to at least be amazing visually and have good acting and be interesting. Whether
Yeah.
I think Oppenheimer might be my least favorite of his movies, or close to the bottom. Like, but I still think it's still a good movie. It's just not great.
Did you ever see
crying about it. That's
Dunkirk?
all I know about Odyssey. I haven't watched the trailer yet. But I know there's a lot of crying about the movie.
I mean, people are nitpicking. The historians are nitpicking the designs, and then I don't know. Like, it's like
What about,
he's using a Viking ship and not a, like, why? But I don't care about that. What I care is they were out to sea filming for like 2 months
Insane.
with actual fucking oceans in the background with all
Christopher Nolan is insane.
all IMAX film. It's an entire IMAX film shot movie, so it's gonna look amazing, and that's all I really care about. So, yeah, I don't care about if it's a Viking ship and not a historically accurate ship, or the armor. People complain the armor doesn't look accurate. I'm like,
What about, did you see Dunkirk? I thought that was awesome.
yeah, I watched
Dunkirk was awesome.
I like Dunkirk. That one does have the time jump, but it actually, when you really, it's like, oh, that makes sense now. Like, that was kind of a cool way to tell that, because one storyline takes place over one day, the next one's over like a week, and then the next one's like a month or something.
Well, Dunkirk is so fast paced, man. It's constant. There's no slow parts in Dunkirk, man. You can just constantly go.
Yeah, you can't. There's no time to breathe.
Thrill ride.
There's no time to breathe. There's no time to breathe in Dunkirk, man.
Total thrill ride, that one.
It's a thrill ride.
I mean, Interstellar is my favorite by far, but I almost think Tenet might be my second favorite now. It's not.
Really,
Favorite Nolan movie?
Mm-hmm. Dark
Wait a
Knight's pretty right there as well. Oh, actually, Batman Begins, and to me, is equal to the Dark Knight. Like, as far as a Batman movie, I think Batman Begins is the better Batman film.
It's probably the best.
The
like,
Dark Knight
especially
is
origin
just a really
Batman movie.
well-made movie that's great acting, and you know.
Dark Knight is fucking like Heat. You know, it's like his version of Heat with the
But
superhero.
anyway, I'm sitting close. I was 7'11" from a 120-inch screen. It's a 58-degree viewing angle, and I'm like, man, this is the way to watch like these IMAX movies. Like, I might have to sit here, because I saw the Project Hail Mary. I sent you guys that video. The directors went to every theater format. There's like 12 different theater formats. It's crazy. And I was like, I'm more excited to watch that movie at home than even after when I saw the movie. I was like, it's fine. It's just a little overhyped,
I
maybe.
love it. That's
Then I
Summer, that's
watched
my
the
favorite of the year.
directors going to different theaters and reacting to like the experience. I was like, I got super excited, and they confirmed they're gonna preserve the IMAX shot, so it's gonna expand for the IMAX sequences. Whereas like movie like F1, they're like movies mostly shot for IMAX, and then it's cropped. The whole 4K release is cropped, and I was so mad. And I was like, all right, let me see like sitting close for like a non 3D movie, and I was just like, I first did the scene from First Man when they're on the moon. It's the only part of the movie shot with IMAX, and it's just that the extra detail and the extra resolution is so obvious, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is amazing. But yeah, so I was like, it's not the most comfortable chair though, so I might have to get a different one because it's
Or just move the couch up.
I don't want to permanently have my speakers be out of position for like every
okay,
movie.
Okay.
I don't want to have to try to move them. But for like, Nolan's a 5.1 mix, so it's not that big a deal. But yeah, so anyway, I was like, I'm already thinking of watching Odyssey at home, even though that won't be out for. When's that come out? The movie July.
The July.
So it might be on 4K by Christmas. So
I'm pretty sure. It's crazy. Those tickets came out a year ago.
yeah, the IMAX, and they sold out for
They sold out.
But they did that for Oppenheimer, and then the week
Yeah,
of
a year though.
I don't know if it was a year, but they opened up a
year
lot
is
more.
ridiculous. I'm like, I've never heard of such thing that they put a year in advance for movies.
Well, a lot of people will be driving to Michigan because it's one of the 30 IMAX projectors, film projectors in the entire world.
It's good to have kind of like an idea when you want to go, when you.
But
go. I mean,
just Oppenheimer sold out immediately, and then they opened up a bunch. It wasn't that big a deal. I
yeah,
just had to
for
wait a
sure.
couple weeks.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I respect it. It might seem like, oh, it's just too. Why is he doing so much work, so much extra work? But I'd rather have them be out on boats filming shit and getting seasick and being miserable than the bullshit green screen that just so many movies use. Like, I can't wait to like, because I don't know if you ever seen Master and Commander, but that was all shot on a real ship out in the ocean, and it looks phenomenal. Like, there's no
Nobody watched that shit.
And nobody did, but it's a great movie. It's one of the.
It's great. No, I'm not saying anything about the quality of the film. But fantastic.
I did watch, while we're on the topic, I watched it was on the Tested channel. They went to the IMAX headquarters, which Jeff Keighley's dad they named the theater after him because he was a big IMAX guy. I didn't know that. And I was wondering about Jeff Keighley.
He was the owner of. He created.
Oh, he was the creator.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I didn't know. I just knew they named the theater after him, and I
didn't know. I was like, wait a minute.
He said he was close friends with Christopher Nolan. Like, no wonder he gets so many big actors and stuff to show up at the Game Awards. But so it's crazy. There is so if Christopher Nolan shoots on film, so then they have to process the film, and then they scan it into a digitally. So if they got to do any visual effects, which there's like a really old machine that did that, but it still works, but they created a new one for that. But to get it back onto IMAX film, they're the only place I think that in the world that can do it, and there's only 4 of the original 12 machines that still work, and they're all CRT based. They're all cathode ray tube based, and they're nowhere in the world, no other technology. They're trying to come up with something can take the digital film after it's been scanned and then how would you say, captured on IMAX film, so they can project it onto IMAX film. And it's the CRT tubes are getting older, so it takes 3 times as long per frame because they got to do longer exposure. And there's not a place in the world that knows how to make CRT stuff anymore. Like, all that's gone. It's all history. Like, no one. There's no infrastructure to like make some new cathode ray tubes and stuff. Like, somebody would have to invest probably tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars into some kind of manufacturer that could just for these. It's only needed for this IMAX, to get it back on the IMAX film. So it's just like, is it really worth all that trouble? But at the same time, you shouldn't let something die because no one, because of the technology's getting old. Figure out a way to, you know, to get somebody's got to know how to make one and just do it. I mean, at this point, but I just thought that was crazy. There's only 4 left that can actually do it, and they take twice or 3 times or 4 times as long. And it's like, yeah,
He was apparently he was the first ever chief quality officer for IMAX.
yeah, and you know, it's if it wasn't for Christopher Nolan, I bet they wouldn't. No one would even be doing it anymore. I don't think people would be putting their movies on film anymore. Like, so you know, maybe once he's retired, it'll just who cares? We don't need any more of these machines. But at the same time, I hate like how you know we just let technology die off and then no one's alive. Like even the projectors, there's like only like a few people who may even know how to repair if like an IMAX projector went out. Like it's not like there's just a bunch of people who know how to do it, and if that one person is good at it, he could charge pretty much whatever he wants because he'd be the only one. So it's just like it sucks. But apparently I haven't seen it personally, but now the digital IMAX they actually have two projectors that converge so you get so it can have a bright enough image to fill that screen. So you can get like close to the same level without having the film. So
All this
anyway,
movie stuff is great. Back to video games.
Well, I
Yeah.
was just gonna say I was looking. I'm pretty that Sinners was also shot on film. So I know Ryan Coogler's also
Yeah.
about like film.
and
stuff,
I
so-
mean, I sent to you that video. I don't know if this guy just discovered like some dude who never cared about this stuff. He just found like he's like obsessed with like finding 35 millimeter film and like scanning it digitally, and then like he posts some videos on YouTube about it. And I gotta say, I can't remember the specific. It was Spider-Man 1. He found like the original 4x3 full size frame that had like the boom mic in the shot and stuff before they cropped it. And I'm like, there's so much detail in the actual film. Like it's like the 4K looks good, but I don't know. I think I just like the raw 35 millimeter scan. Like it just it looks more natural, I guess, than whatever they do to get these 4K movies out. And I was like, man, that looks really good, even with some of the scratches and stuff in the film. I still almost prefer that, but anyway,
These Nintendo numbers. Let's go.
there is Nintendo numbers.
Yeah, there are
Yeah,
Nintendo
we
numbers.
didn't go with the
I didn't know
financial
that.
fiscal year.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I didn't know
That's
that
how
came
that's
out.
how we know about the price tag. They release
Right,
They release
that's what
So
they-
what
their financial.
what's the
briefing.
Switch 2
All
at
right,
then?
let's do it. Switch 2 has
That-
sold 19.86 million. I got all the numbers here.
Oh, you
19.86 million units worldwide. Almost 20
Damn.
million units sold within the year. That's obviously
That's a
ending
good
in
first year.
late
And
March.
it's the best ever.
Yeah,
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, by far, not even close. It's
Easily.
by far. And it surpasses their. I think they wanted to go from 15 to 19, so it bumped up multiple times.
yeah. Original
It's still-
Switch, to
it's
put
still
it in
the fastest
perspective,
selling console of all time right now.
yeah,
It's gonna
original
slow
Switch,
down
to put it
at the price tag
perspective,
personally, but yeah.
was about 8 million at this point.
The Switch
which
is only at
obviously
8 after a
really
year,
good.
or it's not quite
Yeah.
a year. It's 9
The first
months.
year.
Well, no, because it's not
Yeah.
quite a year yet. Remember, it
Yeah.
goes from what was it? It was
It goes to-
it's
it goes to
based
March,
On,
late.
It's based on January to March. Yeah, January to March. So yeah, so
Yeah,
I
so
feel like
and then we have our beautiful original Switch at 155.92, basically 156 million units sold worldwide in total, which is it's slowly inching up. To me, it's already beaten. It's already
Yeah.
number one without this bullshit as late drop of the PS2 numbers.
It's not gonna hit
Um,
160 though. I don't think.
that's
I believe
don't
so.
know,
I
man.
think
I still think
if
so.
Nintendo's smart, I know Nintendo wants it. They won't say it, but they want that number one spot. So right now, all you have to do is make sure you produce another
I was gonna
what
say yeah.
6 million
Yeah.
units.
But they've raised
the
the
original
price of
Switch?
the Switch and Switch OLED.
Yeah.
they've raised it.
But they still have plenty of time to drop that price. I think if they drop the original Switch, not OLED version. I don't know if does it even exist anymore? The original Switch without
It does, yeah,
OLED?
that exists.
Okay.
Yeah.
You drop that bitch down to $199. You drop the Switch Lite down to 99 at some point, and then Switch OLED maybe 250 or something like that. I think you'll definitely get there for sure. Just make sure you get the numbers. You get, we're gonna sell this many, come hell or high water, and no matter how long it takes, that's what they should do.
I agree though. If you just make the amount of units, technically they should sell it at some point.
Yeah, make the amount of units and put them in stores. You already won.
Yeah.
All right, so we got software sales at 1.5 billion units worldwide. I think that's
Switch One.
Switch total. Switch One. 1.5. Is that billion?
Billion, yeah.
Wow, that's insane. Digital business totaled 407 billion yen. Let's see. None of that matters. We don't care about any of that. Let's get into the game sales themselves. Switch 2, Mario Kart World hit 14.7 million. Obviously, that's a little skewed because of the pack-in units of Switch 1 or Switch 2.
For sure.
Donkey Kong Bonanza.
That's still insane regardless.
Yeah, that's insane. It's still insane. Donkey Kong Bonanza, this makes my heart sing. 4.52 million units sold, and that's not a pack-in. And that's just amazing, wonderful to me. Kirby Air Riders at 1.76 million units. Go Kirby Air Riders. How about that?
Yeah.
Pokemon Legends ZA is at 12.4 million. On
combined,
combined.
Yeah.
3.94 million for Switch 2, 8.55 million for Switch. Mario Galaxy 2. Wait, what? Yeah, Mario Galaxy 2. So they split them. They split it. So Mario Galaxy 2, yeah, they split them up. It's 2.76 million units, and Super Mario Galaxy is 2.60 million units. So roughly 5 million combined. And I don't know why they did it that way. That's weird. I guess
it is weird.
Instead of just saying how many physical copies of the dual pack. Pokemon, that's weird. Pokemon Pokopia hit 4 million units. Wow.
4 mil. Over
5
4 mil
weeks.
for Pokopia.
5 weeks. And so it's beyond that obviously now.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is 71 million. 71 million units. Good Lord. Animal Crossing New Horizons, 49.9 million.
Oh, that's actually about to break 50
It's about
million.
to break 50.
Damn.
About to break 50 million. That's crazy.
Goddamn.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at 37.76 million. Obviously, easily the best-selling Smash of all time.
Best-selling fighting game of all time.
Well, fighting game, period, yeah. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, 33.84 million. Super Mario Odyssey, 30 million. Oh, this is just beautiful. Pokemon Scarlet Violet, 28.28. Sword and Shield, 27 million.
Scarlet Violet's so more, huh?
Crazy how close they are.
Yeah.
Like the same amount of people buying them.
Mm-hmm. Tears of the Kingdom is an obvious flop at 22.56 million. Nowhere near Breath of the Wild.
11 million people said, nah, I don't need to play the next one.
Well, did you see, it was funny, did you see the quarter? It was 200,000 copies of Breath of the Wild were sold, and 160,000 copies of Tears of the Kingdom were sold in the last quarter.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Clearly the better game is winning.
But it's amazing that they just sell, like, so
yeah,
very easy,
Breath of the Wild's
really.
still outselling
no
it,
other
though.
company does that. Like no other company.
But like my thing, a lot of people will. I think a lot of people go towards the first one. Also, it's like, oh, Breath of the Wild, you gotta go to Breath of the Wild, the first one. But
yeah.
Oh, Wilson 108. I think he preferred the second one, but he played them close
I
together.
did see that.
And
yeah.
he put like 60, 70 hours, I think, in both games. So it's not like he just skimmed through them, but
yeah,
it's just interesting because I thought playing them closer together might be detriment to Tears, but in his case,
look, I'm also
I wouldn't have wanted to do that, and I guess he had no choice because he didn't have a Switch. Is that right?
He skipped it.
He skipped the Switch. That's insane. All right, so where were we? 22.8 for Tears. I lost my spot. Where am I? Okay. New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe at 18.9 million, 96 million.
It
Yeah.
is a better game than Wonder, so I'm not too
This is the
mad.
one that blew my
No, no, no,
mind.
no, no, no.
This is the one that blew me. Like, okay,
The one
the
that did
deluxe,
what?
okay. This is the one, right?
That
Blew
blew
my
you?
mind.
Okay.
I said blew my mind. Can you not hear me?
I heard you say.
Yes,
I heard blew me.
yes, it blew my mind. I from the beginning, I said blew my mind. Anyway, I wish it blew me. That would be great. Nintendo, Nintendo Switch Sports, 18.32 million.
Dang.
What?
Whoa, I didn't
What?
see that. That it's almost
Didn't
20
see
million.
that coming at all. I
I didn't
thought,
know it was
okay, yeah,
almost
it'd be a
that.
5 million seller tops. 18.32 million units sold. Uh, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, 17.44 million.
That's getting close to the U Deluxe. Actually, it's actually
Yeah,
with the Switch 2 thing. It probably
with
eventually.
much less time. Much less years. Pokemon Legends ZA. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Oh, wait. No, I did that. 12
The
point.
13 or whatever, 12, 13 or whatever.
Yeah, I did that
Yeah.
already. Why is it down here too? Anyway, Mario Party Jamboree is 9.96 million. Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf
Unreal.
Green. I'm guessing that's the re-release. Hit over 4
Oh,
million units
That's insane.
in 6 weeks.
Fire Red
Fire Red and Leaf Green. The
ROM
digital.
re-release that they just put out sold
Yes.
4 million.
Yes, it's a straight up
That's
re-release, right? It's not a, there's
I'm
not new
surprised
game.
I'm surprised that sold that well so fast.
Yeah, that's crazy. And Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, 3.8 million units so far, and
Damn.
comes 14 days worth of sale from 14 days.
Yeah, that's crazy, yo. I'm telling you, this shit is
Oh,
a
wait a
big
minute.
seller.
40% of its sales came from Switch 2 owners. Holy Toledo!
Yeah, it's pretty interesting actually.
Wow.
I mean, hey man, that's something that this game again. The first one sold 7 million on 3DS. That's gonna outsell it. I think that'll outsell it for sure.
That's
Crazy.
crazy.
And they made their money back so quick on that
Oh yeah.
game.
So total Switch 2 software sales from Q1 to Q4 is 48.71 million. And Switch software sales totaled 136.91 million from Q1 to Q4.
I'd love to know how much
Wow.
like Resident Evil Requiem sold on Switch.
Yeah,
that would
they don't
be-
say that's more
That's third party, so
Mhm.
yeah, that'll be a Capcom thing. It'll
But
be
I'm
interesting
guessing
to
that
find out.
48 million, that probably encompassed everything third party.
Yeah, it's everything.
that's everything. Yeah,
And I think that's it for the major numbers there. Wow.
that's crazy, man. This
What's missing from their Metroid Prime 4? Well, that came out last
Yeah.
holiday.
Yeah,
but
what that means.
Metroid
I mean,
Prime
supposedly that unless it is, but that doesn't mean that one platform on either Switch or Switch 2 didn't surpass 1 million like by itself.
Right. That's what
In
it looks
combined,
like.
it sold over 1 million, but that doesn't mean it could
Which
be
is
at
not great.
900,000, 900,000 or something. But I don't think I don't think it is either way.
Wait,
My thing
and-
is, I saw people trying to like poo-poo on that when realistically that means it's still already outsold Metroid Prime 2 and 3. It's like these games have never sold in the millions, bro. Other than Metroid Prime 1 did 2.8 or whatever, which
and Super
it's like-
Metroid. Well, as far as the
well,
Prime game go, yeah, it's
but in terms
Metroid
of Prime, and then the best-selling one is Dread at 3 million.
Because Dread is the best selling one, yeah.
I'm like, what are we talking about, man? Like, regardless, that's already a success for them. In terms
But
of
that's a sad thing to me because
yeah,
so-called Metroidvanias do better. Well, at least Hollow Knight
Yeah.
has done better, and I don't know about what's the Microsoft one?
Ori?
It's two. Ori, yeah, Ori, and yeah, the Ori games. I don't know what they sold, but
I actually don't know if they've even announced.
I feel like
let me see.
probably not. But yeah, like to me, that's sad that the game that inspired by you does
Well,
way better.
I mean, this says the
gameplay,
Ori
yeah, not
series has sold over
gameplay-wise.
15 million. Like the series.
So I'm not. Yeah. So there you go.
Holy shit.
So that's
a
at
lot.
or above Metroid sales,
But it
total
could be-
Metroid game sales.
Fortunately, I don't like that, but a lot of people maybe don't want to spend the money on a title like that, and they rather be $20.
Well, yeah, obviously the price does help. I'm guessing if Prime 4
was
came
$20
out and it was $20, that would be
for
way
sure.
different.
Yeah,
Like that's just an impulse buy at that point.
for sure.
But yeah, like yeah, it's interesting. But again, that this makes me think about Star Fox. Is that people talk about, oh, Star Fox sales hasn't been that great, and they talk about Metroid as well, and I'm like, for me, it's never been about the character or any of that stuff. It's always been about the genre that has hindered a game, specifically Star Fox. It's like, all right, so Star Fox at its peak sold 4 million units on N64, and name another space shooter, a jet fighter game that has come in anywhere close to that. You think what's the series? Ace Combat is doing anywhere near what Star Fox peak was? No. That genre is not in popularity genre. So it's going to be hard for and that's my only, again, I'll talk about Star Fox 64 and wanting it to be a bigger series for Nintendo and wanted to. This isn't the game that's going to do it. Star Fox 64 remake is not going to push. Again, I'm saying that, and of course, if the game's going to be on this fucking, it's going to be in this report next year at 20 million.
Well, actually, you know what?
Which I would love. I'm hoping that happens. By the way,
the newest Ace Combat sold over 7 million copies. Actually.
Oh, so there you go.
Maybe there's a little bit of a people wanted something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, again, Ace Combat is, it's a series that's been around since what? Late 90s?
But also, little thing about this, Ace
and it's consistent. They make consistent games, and the fan base is consistently buying them. So that also helps it.
Think about the total. So Ace Combat 7 sold 7 million units with the total sales at 21, which means if you divide that, that'd be about 3 million or less. So just Ace Combat 7.
Ace Combat 7 is the one that, I got you. That's the one that's the outlier, yeah. So I'm saying that genre is just not a high-selling genre to begin with. It's not a Star Fox problem. It's a genre gameplay problem. So if you want Star Fox to do better than it's done, it's going to have to, just like Metroid, I've been saying for years, it's going to have to evolve its gameplay to fit more modern, the taste of more modern gamers. And that's going to obviously piss off the traditional fans. Juice doesn't even like all range mode, for Christ's sakes. He doesn't even want that in his Star Fox. And that was in the second game. So it's going to be a tough ask to get, more fans, even with its popularity, Star Fox's popularity in the recent Mario movie. Because they're gonna be like, oh, I like Star Fox. Oh, then you go check the game out. I was like, oh, I don't really care for this type of game though.
They'd have to make it like a story-based, like third-person adventure
Star
game.
Fox Adventure. It's gonna be at the Star Fox Adventure
with some flying sections.
With some flying, right?
Almost like
it's gonna have to be.
Star Wars Outlaws-ish, where you're like flying, or even Jedi Fallen Order, where you're just
Sin and Punishment,
going to different planets.
Although there's not a lot of flying in that. But.
On foot, and then you're flying in your ship and stuff.
I didn't know that Star Fox Adventures was the third best-selling Star Fox
game.
It
is.
It almost hit 2 million. It's at 1.8.
Yeah, it's like 1.8 million. Yeah.
So I mean,
it's Star Fox meets Zelda. I mean, that's
And it was on the GameCube, so it was
on the GameCube. Yeah,
20 million units.
On the GameCube. Like it probably would have done better on a different console.
Absolutely. So I mean, I do think this. Like, I was surprised. Like the view count for like the Direct was really fast. It did like over 2 million views within the first day or whatever. It was like really fast. And I think definitely due to the movie plus that stuff. And it's like, okay, I do think this will. I don't know. I don't.
You think it's going to be the best-selling Star Fox game?
To guess it to be the best-selling, I For me, for this Switch 2 generation, I'm trying to temper my expectation of game sales because I do personally believe that the Switch 1 has peaked a lot of franchise in terms. I don't
Mhm.
think many franchises are going to beat their 30 million and 20 million. I don't think it's going to
No,
do that for a lot of
no.
games. Star Fox,
Star Fox's ceiling
their
is
top is
still
4
higher
million.
though. It has a higher ceiling.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, it's definitely going to surpass Zero. Zero apparently sold
Oh,
400,000
come on,
copies.
come on, come on. That's it. It's gonna
Past
pass Zero, of course.
Command is also 400,000. Starbucks has sold
Mhm.
899,000. I thought that maybe would have sold a mill, but it will,
899,000, really? I thought that sold over a million.
that's what I'm seeing.
Hmm. You got to
And then
remember on GameCube, the best sellers, all you had to hit was like 400,000. I think 400,000 was a bestseller, considered bestseller after that. So that's why.
this one I can't.
Actually, I think
It doesn't
yeah,
look like
mine.
people have like an exact estimate of
Player's
what.
Choice.
I'm seeing a few
So
different figures, to be honest with you. I'm seeing a million. I'm seeing 900,000. I think it's probably in between
yeah,
that.
I saw over a million. I thought it was like barely a million, like 1.03
Yeah,
million or something like that.
so let's say it sold a million.
Yeah.
I do think it'll surpass that. I could see it being like Kirby Air Riders 1.8 or something.
Yeah. If that game would have came out when it was supposed to, I think it would have done much better. But that game notoriously had like a troubled developments, like Assault did, because they were trying to develop like an arcade game and Star Fox Assault for GameCube at the same time, and I think they showed up at E3 or something, and Star Fox Assault just looked bad. It did not look good, and they were like, "All right, cancel that arcade game and focus on Star Fox Assault." And so it took another year and a half to come out on GameCube. And we're talking about 2005 GameCube. It was pretty much dead at that point. And for it to do what it did on GameCube at
Okay,
that point is pretty good. I think that's a pretty good number. It would have done a lot better if it came out in '03. I think it probably got 2 million easy. But
gotcha.
Yeah.
yeah.
At one hand, I'm like, I'll be lucky to do a million, but then I don't know. I could see it with the hype of the movie and stuff. I don't know. I could see it getting over
And
2
the
million.
price, I think the price is also a big
Price is going to be the
thing as
big
well.
factor because
Yeah.
it's $50. You got $60 physical, but I think a lot of people will be convinced to just buy digital at this point when it comes to that type of stuff. And then obviously you got the WalMarts and Amazon's also giving for 50 instead. So I think it's a good price point. It's a better price point. I don't know. I don't. I don't. Like I said, I'm tempering. I'm kind of being Nintendo where I'm tempering my expectations on sales for a lot of these numbers because I don't think we're gonna be for many franchises. Obviously, Star Fox is. We haven't seen it since the Wii U. So like I think I could see like Kirby Air Riders sort of numbers where it's like 1.8, which is super good for. I mean, it's great for that. But I don't know. I don't know. No, that's tough. But it is Kirby, and Kirby sells more, so maybe it won't sell 1.8.
I mean,
Maybe it will be like 1.1 or something.
Age of Imprisonment must not have hit a million, or
No,
maybe
it did. It sold.
Did it?
It sold. Yeah, it sold. Actually, I'll tell you right now.
Was that in the
It was,
last financial report?
It sold. It just says over 1 million. I don't know what that is though. So this was back in January when they confirmed it sold over 1 million. So
Yeah, I don't
mean,
think they're like you're right. I don't think we're gonna see the same numbers for games on Switch 2.
don't
We'll
think
see if Mario Kart World not being a bundle anymore. We'll see how much that continues.
how that does at 80. Yeah, I agree. I think I'd be curious to see what that does over the time. It ain't
think a
gonna
new
do
Smash-
no 70 million. There's no way.
I think a
That's
new Smash could do similar numbers to the Switch One numbers. I think a new
I don't think
3D
so.
Mario could
I
do.
don't think so.
It just depends. I think so.
Smash.
Again,
Smash.
we
though,
don't
has-
have those
Smash
games yet. We
Ultimate
don't
was
have
Ultimate.
we don't have the Switch 2's Zelda. We don't have the Switch 2's Mario.
No, for sure.
Those are big games that could
The huge
obviously
ones.
push the sales of the system itself.
And we do see Pokopia already have over 4 million.
yeah,
something like that, where
Copia
it's
is
like-
done.
So it's not like I don't
We don't
know.
have the Switch. We don't have the Switch 2's Pokemon game yet. So
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. I'm very excited to see, but I think, I think once now you got a price jump again. Everyone essentially says it was 500 anyway, so I don't think it's gonna affect it that much. But they did lower their sales projections because of that. But it's still like they're projecting 16 million in the next year anyway, so it's still gonna that would be what, uh, almost 40 million or 40 million.
what
So
were they spamming the direct with? Lower the price or some shit back in the
drop the price, yeah, yeah.
drop the price, drop the price.
And they raised the price.
But no. I think it's hilarious because are these same people saying that when it comes to Xbox Series and
Well,
PlayStation
they just
5
see it. They
and
see a handheld and they think, well, it's only as powerful as like a PS4, so it should be way more. I'm like, bro, it's a tiny, so they have to make different chipset like
yeah.
that shit. Come on, man. What are we talking?
We're talking about customized chipsets and all kinds of stuff, a screen and detachable controllers with the tech that's in those. Like, yeah, I mean, like again, right now, I think Switch 2 has a potential to do really well because obviously this economy is ass, and it being the cheapest alternative to everything, and like with the newer consoles coming out that are going to be super expensive, so it's going to have years of just like being the cheapest option out there. That and
Yeah.
if they can get like new games day and date, if it can do that, it could potentially do better than Switch One because it's going to have a
Wow.
window. It's going to have a window of like really, it being the cheapest option by a lot.
I don't know. I don't think so, man. I don't see it crossing Switch One personally, but even without a price, I
No,
just
I've
don't
always said it's not going to do it. I'm just saying,
think it
um,
get close. You think?
yeah, I think it could sell a lot better than it probably would have without the situations that's happening with the other game companies.
Yeah.
Without
Well, it's tough.
the pricing.
And it's what will help is if they truly do keep this variable pricing. They
Yeah,
do they
they do
do
do it. They do.
$50 games and stuff like that. Like if they do that more often, I think that will help overall sales of games.
Hmm.
Um, so man, I don't know, man. I just I think that to me, I mean, I think the Pocopia sales and the Donkey Kong Bonanza sales are strong. Where that's like okay, look, those are still selling. And yeah, we have not seen no 3D Mario. Like that will be big.
Opie is
Uh,
a $70. Isn't it $70?
it is $70 and it's over
$70
$49.
key card game,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
it's
Yep,
doing
over
those
49.
numbers. That's crazy.
That's right. That's right. So, I think it just, if people are interested in the game, you're gonna still have huge sales. I would be curious. I wish I would like to go back to 2017, right, to kind of see what those beginning sales look like. How because all we see is
Before
30
they
million, 30 million,
exploded.
30 million, 20 million,
Yeah,
but we
before
don't
they
remember
exploded.
what did it look like initially. Was
Yeah.
it? Oh yeah, it was 2 million, and then it turned into 6, which turned into 10, which turned into 12. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Will these have as long as legs as because Switch One games just sold throughout those? They're still selling now.
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
still selling now.
Breath
Really
of the
good
Wild
numbers.
just sold 200,000 copies.
A fucking new game would love
Shit.
these numbers. A game that just came out
Yeah.
would love
Yeah.
these what do you call it, evergreen numbers that Nintendo seems to get.
And obviously they're gonna continue to sell Switch One games as Switch Two games with the whole Breath of
Right.
the Wild, the Switch Two edition stuff. But like, so I am super curious to see how this generation is gonna fold out. I think the biggest hurdle will obviously be the price for the introductory price for people. Even if it's even F450, I mean, it's still like it was funny because when we first did the direct reaction, Juice, he literally said this thing gonna be $500, so he already knew $500 from the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a very powerful.
I
thing,
said
so
I think I said like 429.99 or something like that. I think that was my I wasn't that far up, and it's 450
Yeah.
bucks.
I mean, just
Yeah, no,
The base
yeah.
version of it.
just look what some of these third-party games are doing. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
what do you expect? It's outperforming. I know the Series X or Series S. I don't know what the price is now, but it's cheaper. But it's it's clearly outperforming it when it's a direct comparison with.
Series S is $500, I think.
Oh, really?
Eesh.
I think it's like 450 or something.
Maybe it's 450. Yeah.
The only like
They bumped the price up. Remember?
the caveat would be like the storage. Like you're gonna have to.
$300 console.
You gotta get.
folks.
I was just looking at my storage yesterday. I deleted the Pragmata demo and Rocket League, and that freed up like 30 something gigs. So I got like 110 available storage. So that would like barely cover. I don't even know if that would cover Rebirth if I bought Rebirth on Switch too. I know the remake was like 90 or something. That would be the only like thing that I potentially could hurt it.
And
But
the funny thing is, this guy who's really good at like exposing. We talked about Nintendine earlier. He just like he goes through all his videos and shows all his kind of inconsistencies and hypocrisies. He's talked about, I think it was him. Maybe I'm mixing up with somebody else. He was talking about like all these games that Nintendo fans cried about and they said they wanted, but when they got them, they didn't really show up for them. Like I think one of them was like Thousand Year Door.
Mhm.
Like we gotta have, can we get a 1,000-year door? It's the best Paper Mario game, and it like it did okay. It didn't do anything crazy.
Well, did the typical Paper Mario numbers essentially.
Right,
Especially,
but
yeah, nothing out
from
of the
all
ordinary.
from all the jibber jabber, you think it
Yeah.
would have done a little better.
Well, as
Um,
always, man, online is not reality, man.
Exactly. That's
Also,
basically
I
my
don't feel
point.
like. I mean, I still feel like the original still looked pretty damn good. It wasn't like, oh my god, this is like.
It's great. Yeah.
This
Or
is
even like
RPG.
Paper Mario, or not Super Mario RPG. Yeah, like everybody, Super Mario RPG. is
Ever
the
talks
greatest,
about
the
it
best,
like, yeah, it's like this greatest thing
it's
ever.
the greatest game of all times, and then like it comes out and it looks awesome. Like that version of Mario RPG looks really good, and yeah, it did okay. It did okay. It just did okay.
So in that perspective, almost makes me think Star Fox probably won't hit 1 million, but you never know.
I guess I'm speaking specifically of the Paper Mario fans who cry about like Sticker Star and
Mhm.
the direction.
sure.
It's like, well, Sticker Star is the most highest selling one. It's the highest selling Paper Mario game, and the ones that you guys, we're talking about all the time, you didn't even show up for. So what's going on here? Oh, we're just too disgruntled at this point. We don't want to support anything. That's what they'll say, probably.
But that's why I do think. I think just the way Star Fox, in terms of like how fast that how many views does this have
It's
right now?
doing really well on Amazon. It's number one as far as video
it's
games
number
go.
one on Amazon.
So
I think, and they're selling for 50 on there, so
yeah, it's $50 on Amazon as well.
gonna help that for them.
So it's going to be the fastest, highest selling Star Fox game.
I do think it'll be the
Star Fox
fastest selling.
Adventures. Yeah, it'll be the fastest selling for a couple weeks.
I don't think it'll be the highest selling. I think it'll be front loaded.
I don't know. I think it has especially if they drop a movie, which
Yeah.
it seems like they want to do. I could see the game being, it could be somewhat of an evergreen title, or it
To
could
be
end up.
fair, it
not
could just
doing
be like you said, evergreen title. Like we are in the first year technically still.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah,
probably,
the
like,
game
the
hasn't
first
come out
one.
yet, by the way. So
So to be fair, it's gonna have 7 years to keep selling. So it could be.
well, hopefully we'll have another Star Fox by then.
No, yeah, for sure.
sequel.
Yeah.
An actual sequel that's like not a
Actual
remake of
sequel.
another game.
Yeah.
Not a remake at all. Yeah, yeah.
They're
What
gonna-
are we?
they're gonna
I know we
remake,
didn't. We talked about it
Salt.
already, but let's just wrap it up after this. Like, I just don't like when you give something a new version of something the same. This isn't even the same name because it doesn't have 64 in the title. But I hate when movies and games just it's just Star Fox, like God of War. Now you gotta say God of War 2018.
I
They
agree.
did. There's 3 movies that are called Halloween. The original '78 version, the Rob
The
Zombie
other two
version,
suck.
and then the newest one, which is actually a direct sequel to the original. So just call it Halloween 2, which is already Halloween 2, but it wasn't a sequel to the first movie.
Completely muddying the waters.
And it's just so stupid. I just don't. I don't like it. Resident Evil 2. They don't even call them remake on the box. It just says Resident
No,
Evil
it's
2.
called Resident Evil 2. Yeah.
And we call it remake, and it's like, so this is Star Fox, but it's really Star Fox 64 remake. It's
Yeah.
just weird.
Yeah.
Very weird. But I
Yeah.
think that that's something where that's just to me that just confirms there will be a Star Fox 2. Like not
They're
Star
gonna
Fox
use
2 as
this
a real.
because this engine was. You gonna throw this? You gonna throw this shit away? This shit
Yeah.
looks fantastic.
And
Yeah.
all
Like,
that work and the character designs and
yeah, you'd be crazy to do that. You got to
And
do
again,
another one.
Nintendo does they they have franchises that be dormant, but they do bring back things and create new things. Like I think they're gonna give this to me. I was saying blocked out a video and I was like I told them like I think they're gonna go a Metroid man. They're gonna this is gonna be Star Fox generation, just like how Metroid at first had Samus Returns and then went to Dread and then Prime 4. I think this is you have Star Fox and then you have another one and maybe another one, but it's gonna be at least 2 Star Fox games for sure on the Switch 2.
But that's
And
my thing. It's
probably
like if you want, like, first of all, I want this game to sell, because for me, that would validate, a sequel. But for it to do, I think for it to sell really well, again, the genre. Is the next Star Fox game going to be a Star Fox Adventures type of game?
well, are they going to release
Yeah.
Adventures on the GameCube Switch Online?
Yeah,
I thought it was already on, so when they showed it, I was like,
There,
I thought
there's
they-
9 games.
I thought they were going to drop
right
it. Phantom Drop.
Stealth.
Stealth Drop it or whatever.
Yeah, I was like,
Um,
I thought, what game
from
was
the direct. It's a Star Fox Direct, so they're going to announce Star
Yeah.
Fox.
And they showed
Adventures
it.
For GameCube,
there's a
and
clue,
then-
man. There's a clue. There's Star Fox Adventures, which means
I haven't played
the
it
next
since
game
I-
is going to be Adventures like.
I traded that shit in and never looked back after I.
Well,
Star Fox
it won't be made by
Adventures,
Rare. It won't
Star
be made by Rare this time. It'll be someone
It
else.
was fine. It wasn't like
Oh.
bad. It just was like it's just like a lesser Zelda game for me. But
I clipped it and forgot to share it with you guys. I watched Electric Playground, Victor Lucas. He's been doing, the weekend kind of retro uploads of the old show, Electric Playground and Judgment Day. And one of them was what had to do with, I got to find it because it's such a good clip, had to do with when Rare first purchased Nintendo, or Rare first Nintendo, when Microsoft first purchased Rare, and Nintendo's statement, that shit was brutal.
oh yeah,
that was some gangsta ass ruthless shit that Nintendo said. Because I think Victor Lucas, they reached out to Nintendo for a statement on what happened and why they didn't buy it. Because if you remember, Ken Lobb, who was like the big dude at Nintendo, also went over to Microsoft. Remember the game that gun in GoldenEye was based off of him, the Klob, the K-Lob. That was a nod to him. Ken Lobb was like the voice of the guy of Nintendo in the 90s. He would be the guy they always interviewed, and it was weird watching him, talk about how fantastic a game like what's the fucking game with the princess, the fucking fairy princess girl with the monsters, Cameo, right? Cameo. Yeah, he was talking about how Cameo was going to be amazing on Xbox. Obviously, it never came out for Xbox. It came out for 360, and he was like, yeah, it was just really corporate speak, talking about how great it was going to be with Microsoft and all the games they were going to put out and all this stuff that I think one of the questions he asked was like, oh, so what is Rare going to bring to Microsoft? And he was like, well, we're going to bring over the kind of more friendlier audience stuff, the younger audience stuff, and that did not work out at all. Rare on Microsoft. I just thought that was funny. But Nintendo's, I got to find the clip and I'll share it. Nintendo's response was gangster as hell. They were basically, they said, oh, Rare ain't making enough money for us no more, so we don't care. I was like, damn. That's basically what they said. Rare's business for Nintendo has gone down dramatically in the past couple of years. I was like, damn. They went from saying nothing to saying everything. I was like, that's messed up.
Damn.
And that was true. And if you look at their game sales, even starting with like Jet Force Gemini, they dropped pretty dramatic. Conquerors, great game, loved it, didn't do well. Even Star Fox Adventures was not like a major
Well,
seller, obviously. So
I saw it did. It was the third best, 1.8 mil. On
yeah, I
GameStop.
mean, but like, at what price? Like, because that game was not
That was also
a
on
full.
N64 stuff, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they were talking smack at the end, like, dang, Nintendo. They were like, we got Retro Studios, they don't worry about their ass no more.
All right, well with
Retro's
that,
making
we better get
For
out
sure,
of
it's
here.
probably almost
Yeah.
9:30.
But yeah, it's exciting. I know the next Switch 2 game I'm buying, so that's
And it's next month.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We gotta play Soros anyway.
Yeah,
So
hopefully I should be done with Dark Souls 3 sometime this week. I'll start Saros, and I got over a month before my next game, so. But all right, well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Good discussion, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace. The man said, dinosaur